presents the Goodwrench 200. This pretty little lady's name is Terry Taylor. Sitting on the pole with Dale Earnhardt. The whole family gathered together. You've got the pole for the Goodwrench 200.
Well, it feels good sitting on the pole with your sponsor's race, Steve. But, you know, it's a long 200 laps here, 200 miles. It's a tough race for us.
You never miss a chance, schedule permitting, to run a bush race. You like them. They're fun.
Well, they're enjoyable. It also gives you a little bit of insight on what's going to happen for tomorrow. You know, we're running the same tire combination, and, you know, you get a little practice in, a little, see what the tire situation is going to do, and maybe have insight on tomorrow. It's a lot of fun, too. Teresa lets me drive her car.
Have a safe race and bring it back to Teresa in one piece.
We're going to try.
Okay, Dale Earnhardt. Right now, it's time to meet some of our other announcers. We have 5 total. First of all is a fellow who has been covering motorsports on radio and television for 22 years, the past 9 of which he has been CBS's pit reporter. But today, we've got him way up in the air. Meet Mike Joy.
Thank you, Steve, and hello, everybody. I'm proud to be part of this great effort as we work to make the Nashville Network NASCAR's country home. Here in Rockingham, North Carolina, it was rainingham early this morning, but the skies have lifted, the rain has stopped, and we're set for 200 miles of fast action. Joining me in the broadcast booth will be a gentleman who's won a Winston Cup race. He's finished second on this racetrack in Busch Grand National competition. Phil Parsons, tell us about this racetrack.
Well, Mike, I think the key to this racetrack is the surface is well worn, so you'll see the guys early in the race start out at the very bottom of the racetrack. As the race wears on, they'll start looking for new racetrack. When the tires get hot, the bottom groove gets hot and slick, and they'll move up the racetrack, and before the race is over, they may be right against the wall.
Bit of a breezy day here, as you can see. Let's go back down trackside and rejoin our program host, Steve Evans.
Thank you, Mike. Let's meet another one of our broadcasters today. He's my good buddy. We have been co-hosts of American Sports Cavalcade here on TNN for the past 9 years. He's senior editor of Car and Driver magazine and a noted cannonballer. His name is Brock Yates, and he's with a man who accepts the challenge of starting next to the intimidator, Dale Earnhardt. Brock Yates?
Well, Steve, I'm with a man who's been around this sport almost as long as you and I have. Jimmy Hensley is going to start on the outside of the front row in his number 25 Oldsmobile. Jimmy, I'll tell you what, a couple years ago, I remember when Hurricane Hugo blew through here, you went down up to Martinsville, jumped in Dale Earnhardt's Winston Cup car and put it on the pole. I would not imagine you're going to return that kind of favor to him today.
Well, that was a big day for me, Brock. You know, the day that Hurricane Hugo came through. But I think Dale, you know, must have helped him, too. You know, he's been getting the poles, you know, pretty regular since. So it was a good day for him and me, too.
Last week at Richmond, outside of the front row again, but you led the race real strong until the first set of pit stops. And as I recall, you elected not to change tires, and that hurt you. Will that change the strategy for today?
Well, Rockingham's a lot different than Richmond. It's a lot harder on tires, so we're definitely going to change today. You know, we gambled last week on not getting cautions late, you know, last part of the race, and it didn't fall that way for us. And, you know, I thought we had the car to beat if we had a change, and we didn't, so that was history. So today we will change tires, hopefully one time, maybe as much as twice.
Okay, all the best, Jimmy. Now, Steve, back to you.
And finally, Mike Side, a gentleman who spent 15 years wheeling these cars around racetracks, Busch Grand National cars and Winston Cup machines. Here is Glenn Jarrett.
Well, thank you, Steve. We're standing alongside of a fellow here who's got a mighty big grin on his face. That's this year's winner of the Daytona 500, Ernie Irvan.
Yeah, I tell you, you know, it's something coming after, you know, winning Daytona and now come to Rockingham and qualify third with this Busch car. And we're really looking forward to a good run with this Mack Tools Terminal Trucking Chevrolet.
Well, you've got a good starting place here, Ernie, and it's a pretty familiar place to you, right on the rear deck of that number 3 of Dale Earnhardt.
Well, you know, we got an in-car camera today, and Earnhardt gave me a little extra money just to make sure he gets Goodwrench in the in-car camera a lot. I told him, I said, they're going to have to turn it around backwards and get the hood.
Ernie, you've made some infrequent appearances on the Busch Grand National Circuit. I know you knocked around in the bull rings of the Carolinas for a long, long time before you got your break in Winston Cup racing. This has got to be just a fun day for you.
It is. You know, I put this program together with Larry McClure, my car owner, put this program together with Mack Tools, and, you know, things are going awful good. We're going to run 12 to 15 races this year and run Watkins Glen, which is going to be a lot of fun on the road course. But all my guys from the Kodak team does the pitting on this car. Ivan Baldwin's my crew chief, and we got a pretty good program.
Okay, keep your eye on Ernie Irvan today. He'll be a big force. Mike?
Rockingham is the third of 31 races on this year's Busch Grand National Series Tour. Let's review what happened last week at Richmond with this Haviland Series update. Harry Gant had good reason to smile in Richmond last Saturday. The Bandit came from a lap down and led the final 43 circuits to capture his second career Busch Series win at Richmond. But the real battle was for second between Dale Earnhardt and '89 Rookie of the Year Kenny Wallace in car 36. The crowd was on its feet as Rusty's little brother gave Earnhardt all he could handle right to the finish line. Dale prevailed for second place. The Busch Series points then stack up with Earnhardt and Gant at the top with a win apiece. Mike Waltrip, then Kenny Wallace and Davey Allison. Morgan Shepherd, Tommy Houston, Joe Nemechek, Tom Peck, and Dale Jarrett round out the top 10 as we head into Rockingham.
Stay with us. We'll be right back to Rockingham with more pre-race activities. Live on TNN.
TNN Motorsports presentation of the Goodwrench 200 is brought to you by...
Sir, you had a great weekend of the Busch Series just a week ago in Richmond. You came from a lap down to win it. You don't dare go a lap down. It'll be harder to get back.
It's going to be hard, but I think some of us will have to go a lap down by changing the tires. Cars run pretty fast, and you'll wear the tires out pretty quick.
Do you think it can be done with one green flag pit stop, or is tire wear too excessive?
I think it's going to be too excessive. We probably figured on stopping twice.
Maybe stop under yellow and take a penalty?
No, we'll be stopping under green all the time, but we'll be going with our tires, maybe 2 tires under green and maybe stop twice, 2, then 4.
We'll be watching you move up, hopefully.
Well, I'm going to try to. Appreciate it.
Okay, that's Harry Gant. Brock Yates, what have you got?
Steve, I'm with a man who not only drives faster than I do, but I think has spent more time on the Nashville Network than I have. Darrell Waltrip, who's hosted Nashville Now and spent a lot of time in front of the cameras. But today, it's full race. Starting from the 10th spot, Darrell, the racetrack's a little green. What do you think?
Well, of course, we had a little Winston Cup practice just before this event, so the track's all right. Matter of fact, the rain and the cool temperatures are going to make the cars handle a little bit better than they would have if we had a sunny day. So I think everything's going to be fine. You may see some cars run real good to start with and fall off at the end because of the setup. Maybe they're not set up for this kind of condition, but basically it should be good racing.
This racetrack has a reputation of kind of going away on you a little in the later stages, so setup is critical with a new pit stop procedure. You got to get it right. No chance to make a lot of changes during the caution.
No, you're going to have to kind of feel of your car and see how it's doing, and you're going to have to make a decision about halfway. Do you want to come in and get 4 tires or 2? Right now we haven't made that decision, but we'll see how the car's doing, and I think that's what everybody's going to be faced with is, do I get 2 or do I get 4?
Okay, go get him. You got it. Darrell Waltrip. Len Jarrett?
Well, I'm standing alongside of a guy here that certainly is no stranger to me. This is my younger brother, Dale Jarrett. Folks, I've waited a long, long time to be able to have this chance to get back at him for all the things that he told Mother on through the years, told on me. No, I'm only kidding. Dale, you got to feel like that this place owes you one. You should be the defending champion of this race.
Yeah, first of all, you're lucky I didn't tell them half the stuff that they all know. But, yeah, we do feel like that it owes us one. I guess I should say me. I owe the crew one kind of because we had a good race car here last year, this Nestle's Crunch Pontiac, and I just happened to clip a slow car trying to stay on the bottom of the racetrack with about 2 laps to go and keep Dale Earnhardt behind me. But this Nestle's Crunch Pontiac's running good again today, and I feel like we've got another good shot at it.
Well, throughout practice yesterday, you were consistently one of the quickest, if not the quickest cars, so you got to feel good about your chances today.
Yeah, I sure do. The guys have worked awfully hard. John Irvin heading up this crew, and we've got this car really dialed into where I think it's driving awfully well. We've got a new type snout that we've never run here before, and it's something that we're trying, but it seems to be working awfully well, and I really like the way that it's driving so far. If we can just keep that going and keep the tires on it for 200 laps here or 197, we'll be in good shape.
Well, Mike Joy, I told you yesterday that I would give you the field and I would take the 2 Dales. I still want to make the same bet with you.
My money's still in my pocket, Glenn. I'm sorry. I won't take that. Be interesting to see how it turns out. Some quarter of a century ago, the cars that ran in this division were mostly old and outdated Winston Cup cars. A lot's changed in 25 years. Brock Yates shows us how.
Let's have a quick course in race car identification here at Rockingham. This is Davey Allison's number 28 Ford Thunderbird Winston Cup car. Next to it is his Chevrolet Lumina Grand National race car that we're going to see run here today. Again, number 28. Very similar cars on the outside and on the inside as well. Rail cage configuration, etc. Very similar, but the race cars are significantly different. The Grand National car, 105-inch wheelbase, 3,200 pounds. Davey's Winston Cup car, 3,500 pounds and 110-inch wheelbase. Significantly larger automobile, but the big difference here is under the hood. The Grand National car, as you can see, a V6 engine, 274 cubic inches, carries a 390 CFM carburetor, quite small. The engine produces around 500 horsepower, whereas the Winston Cup car carries the classic American V8, 358 cubic inches, a big 800 CFM Holley carburetor, and this engine develops in the mid 600 horsepower. So there's about 150 horsepower differential here, but the qualifying times at Rockingham are less than a second difference. So the lighter, nimbler Grand National car is very, very good performer here on this racetrack.
A nice piece from Brock Yates, and I am right now with Davey Ellis in the 28 car. Davey, we're accustomed to seeing you on the pole, son, in Winston Cup, including the Daytona 500, but here you are back starting 23rd. What happened?
Well, we were running really good in practice, and I just messed up when I went out to qualify. I tried to run the car a little bit too hard, and ended up costing me some time. And, you know, we're back here in 23rd, but the car's working good in practice, and we look to take this thing to the front.
In all honesty, you think you can win from the 23rd spot?
Yeah, I think we can. Yesterday in practice, Dale Earnhardt was quick, and so was I, and the next closest cars to us were a couple of tenths off. So we think we can get to the front and try to get up there and race with Dale, and we think we can beat him.
We'll be watching. Good luck.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be back to Rockingham for the start of the Goodwrench 200 right after these words.
This young man is 19 years old, and I'll tell you what, you know, we've got a lot of brilliant young race drivers coming along in the sport, but there are very few people that you would call a prodigy. I would say Jeff is very much in that rank. He's only run 3 of these races, but he's run brilliantly up north in the USAC midgets and the big dirt cars and some of their modified stock cars. The young man is on his way in the minds of many, many people, and I think you're going to see a brilliant performance from him here today. What do you think about that, Phil Parsons?
Well, Brock, I think you're exactly right. The curious thing to me is, can the Grand National drivers keep up with the Winston Cup drivers, with the Earnhardts, the Gants, and the Allisons, and the Waltrips? I think Jeff Gordon has a chance, and certainly as his career progresses, he certainly will. Today, I see Jimmy Hensley, probably Kenny Wallace, maybe being the only 2 Grand National drivers that can stay with the Winston Cup drivers. Mike?
Well, Phil, I think you may be right, but I think we may see something a little interesting here in that the Winston Cup drivers, you heard Harry Gant say, probably 2 stops under green for tires. Some of the Busch Grand National regulars with more experience and more time to test with these lighter cars than the Winston Cup machines just may have a shot to go this race on 1 tire stop, and if they do, they may be a lap ahead of the Winston Cup drivers by the time this thing ends. The strategy of this race will certainly be interesting and be different as a result of NASCAR's new pit stop rules. As mentioned before, we'll have a camera in Ernie Irvin's car. We'll perhaps have the capability to talk to some of the drivers during the caution flags, of course not green flag racing, as we give you the 200 miles here at Rockingham. But I tell you, race strategy is going to be very interesting here, and it'll really play this out just every bit as much as what happens under the green flag out on the racetrack. Right now, let's go trackside as the thousands here at this speedway honor the greatest country in the world with the singing by Staffa Osborne of our national anthem.
Will everyone please rise patriotically as we play the national anthem. standing from the Baptist State Convention of North Carolina, the Reverend Bobby Stafford, with our invocation. With heads bowed, please.
Father, we thank you for such a great opportunity to be able to look at that flag and think about our fellows and our girls who are coming home in these next days. Lord, just lead us and guide us during these days to be prepared for peace and for love and concern for other people. Today, Lord, give us this good day, a day of safety, and a day of time when we can enjoy a great sport and see some good things happen that are enjoyable to us. We just thank you, Lord, for this beautiful time, this beautiful sport. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
On a cool, crisp day in the sandhills of North Carolina, we are set to go racing. Here in the Goodwrench 200, group of Winston Cup and the Busch Grand National Series regulars set to square off in this, the third of 31 meetings in the 1991 season. They're clearing pit road right now. In just a few seconds, they'll be firing the engines and be set to roll this field of race cars. And I don't know, Phil, we're talking up on the roof, green flag race strategy and when to pit for tires and how many times. How important is that going to be?
I think it's going to be very important. I think that most of the guys are going to try to make it on one pit stop, unless the cars just slow down so incredibly slow that they say, man, I got to get in the pits because I'm losing a half second to a second a lap. But I think most of them want to try to go to at least halfway to get their stop, change 2 or 4 tires, whatever they deem necessary, so they can make this race on one pit stop.
In addition, there is threat of rain later this afternoon. 197 laps the distance. 99 laps would be a complete race.
Let's not forget the weather could still be a factor. There's a little blue sky for the first time this whole weekend, but a lot of clouds and we're saying some thunderstorms. NASCAR rules say that if the race runs 1 lap past halfway, in the case of this event, that would be 99 laps to be official. The race can be called. Whoever leads it is the winner. What if you're about to come in at 97 laps? You got a little dew on the windshield. Do you come in, get tires, and fall back, and somebody else wins it if it rains? That'll be a tough decision if it comes to that. Stay tuned for more NASCAR action live from Rockingham. We'll be right back.
Well, the engines have cranked here. We'll be getting this thing underway in just a matter of moments.
On a cool day, it'll take a little bit of time to get these engines up to temperatures. We may see more than the customary warm weather 2 pace laps. Earnhardt on the pole, Jimmy Hensley outside, right where he was last week at Richmond. There's Ernie Irvin carrying our in-car camera in the 3rd spot, and surprising 19-year-old Jeff Gordon. His Ford lines up 4th. Back in the 3rd row, Kenny Wallace had such a great run at Richmond. The highlight of his career, last year's rookie deer Joe Nemechek, Harry Gant with Ed Perry, a couple of Winston Cuppers in row 5 and 6, the youngest Bodine brother Todd, Robert Presley, 2nd-generation driver, Ward Burton, one of a pair of brothers, Elton Sawyer, he and his wife are in this field. There's the champ, Chuck Bound, in 17th spot. Jack Ingram on his farewell tour is in the 11th row. Davey Allison, Tommy Houston, who's run every race this series has ever held under the Busch name. There's Patty Moise, that's Elton Sawyer's wife. First time it's ever happened in NASCAR. Husband-wife racing in the same event. Butch Miller, the great short tracker from Michigan. Clifford Allison, yet another of the Alabama gang. Bobby Hillen in his car, and the provisional starters, Bobby Dotter and Jeff Spraker, all lined up and fired up and coming to temperature before they roll out on the pace laps here.
You know, Mike, an interesting point here is that we've got 2 pits on this racetrack. The first time that we've run under that configuration with the new pit stop rules. On the backside, we've got some of the good runners, including Bobby Labonte. So while most of the quick runners are up here down toward turn number 1, we do have some good runners on the backside. And I would imagine, Phil Parsons, that's going to change a little strategy and make it kind of interesting how we score this event.
Well, it will somewhat, but I don't think it's as critical now with the fact that pit road, that you cannot do any tire changing during the caution flags without penalty. So I don't think it'll be as critical. As far as the green flag pit stops, it really doesn't make much difference whether you're on the front or whether you're on the back.
And let's remember, Rockingham is the fastest 1-mile stock car track in America, a track that never lets the fans down. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Hold on. pit road. They're on the pace lap for the Goodwrench 200. You're on board with Swervin' Irvin. Ernie Irvin from Modesto, California, lined up behind Dale Earnhardt, the two pace cars ahead. Irvin inside of Jeff Gordon on the second row. A Chevy, an old Chevy, a Ford, and a Pontiac, the front five. Getting set for the start of this race. They head up into turn number 4, bank 25 degrees. Here's the North Carolina Motor Speedway. Ernie adjusting the mirror. Get a good look at the tack and the gauges on his dash. A few stickers, including one for TNN. And you get a good view when we have the in-car out that rear view mirror and see what's coming up along the inside of Ernie Irvin. 3 laps, we're told, before we go racing to get things up to temperature. And Davey Allison in a Chevrolet, not the Ford he'll drive tomorrow, but in a V6 powered Chevy. Davey will be coming back from the 12th row, lined up there behind Jack Ingram, as they'll take a couple of laps here to bring things to temperature.
You know, it's interesting, Mike, that Davey is in a Chevrolet for this race. You know, he started out with a Ford last year, or a couple of years ago in Busch Grand National Competition, and they weren't able to get the engine pieces, weren't able to get the good, strong engines to stay together, so Davey elected to go back to a GM product. Here he is starting in a 23rd position, and he's got a Ford up in the second row. Glenn Jarrett, what do you think about that?
Well, we're going to get a word with Jeff Hensley here right now. He's consulting with the NASCAR official. I talked to Jeff a little bit before they fired the engines, and there is a lot of concern about tire wear here. Jeff, a lot of concern about tire wear, particularly on this green racetrack. Give us your thoughts.
Well, yesterday afternoon, you know, we were setting up pretty much for a slick racetrack because they had a lot of laps run on it, but, you know, it rained real hard last night, and we're back down to a real green surface, and yesterday we figured we could get about 70 laps out of a set. Today I look like we're going to be lucky if we get 40 is the way we're looking at it. There's no way around not changing all 4 tires on an SFA Classic Pontiac when we do come in.
Well, I see a lot of tires over here, as many as 16 tires. So are you looking at having to possibly change tires as many as 4 times?
Well, we're looking at all 4 at least once. It's only a 200-mile race, and it don't leave you a lot of time to make up the laps you lose. But if it's really according to what everybody else does. It's kind of monkey see, monkey do. If one guy comes in and puts on all 4, then you just about got to do the same thing. So, you know, we're really going to follow suit and see what happens.
Well, that's the strategy here from Chuck Bounce Pitts. Let's go back to Steve Evans.
I'm with the crew chief for Joe Nemechek III, the Rookie of the Year last year. And Dennis, you have to compete against some heavy dogs as you get the crossover from Winston Cup. How do you guys combat that, and what's your plan with your drivers?
Well, we're just going to wait and see how the car's doing about 50, 60 laps into the race, and probably just follow the leader.
Do the Earnhardts, the Waltons, intimidate your guy at all?
No, I don't think so. We like running with them.
Have fun.
Thank you.
1 lap to go as we'll look for a green flag start. There's Joe Nemechek's car carrying a 3-race sponsor that they're hoping to put together for the season. Brock?
Tony, I'm with Tony Urey, Mike, and what do you think about have you determined yet what kind of a fuel and tire stops you're going to make in this deal?
Well, we ain't really decided what we're going to do. We don't know how long the tires are going to last. Usually we run this race on, 4 tires. I don't believe we can make it on 4 today.
We've been hearing some guys talking about coming in as early as 40 laps. Do you think you can go farther than that?
Well, it's really going to be according to what everybody else does. We're going to try to run about 60 or 70 laps probably. That sounds like the going number for us right now.
Okay, well, let's see how it works.
All right, anything happens.
Okay, Mike, there you heard it from Tony.
And that's probably the best sum up I've heard today. Anything can happen. Earnhardt won this race a year ago. 15 lead changes, the record 17 when Rob Moroso drove his Oldsmobile to victory here in 1989. There's back in the 12th row with Davey Allison as the pace car peels off. It's gone, headed for pit road, and Dale Earnhardt, the man in black, will bring them down for a start with Jimmy Hensley, the Don Beverly car on the outside. Here they come. Green flag.
You know, Mike, the Winston Cup drivers had a practice session just before this race, so they know what the racetrack feels like. The Busch Grand National drivers are a little bit of a disadvantage because they weren't able to practice today.
Earnhardt with Hensley hanging tough on the outside. Ernie Irvin right there. You could about put the Richmond County Saturday paper between those 2 cars up front as they come off 4 and down to complete lap 1.
not going to be intimidated. He really is. And I say he's a heck of a race car driver. And it didn't look like it hurt him much that he didn't have a correct decision today. Irvin trying to draft with Earnhardt. But Hensley dogged and determined. Hangs to the outside. Earnhardt breaks loose now. And Irvin will challenge Hensley for second. On pit road, sliding into the attention of the crew, and it's a quick in and out. It's a stop-and-go penalty for jumping the start for Davey Allison. Well, that's a tough break for Davey Allison. He had a really poor starting position, and now he's going to find himself about 3/4 of a lap behind. So he desperately needs the caution flag fairly early to let him catch back up to the field. Allison stays on the lead lap. Earnhardt the leader, the yellow car. Ernie Irvin, as we watch Harry Gant dispense with Jimmy Hensley. That moves Gant number 7 up to the 4th spot behind Kenny Wallace. A lot of smoke from Jack Ingram's car at turn 2. And Ingram drops down, running out of harm's way now. Caution will come out. That's a heck of a break for Davey Allison, a tough break for Jack Ingram. This is his last time at Rockingham as a driver. He's going to make a farewell tour this year of about 16 races, and this is his last time here. Ingram may have lost the engine looking at that puffing of smoke out the left side exhaust pipes. The car, don't think it was running as it came by. And Ingram will coast along to the back pit area. He's been black flagged and will have to make a stop in the pit lane. Let's have another look and see, Bill, if he did indeed blow that engine. There you see, Jack, the top of the screen there. You just start smoking going in the turn. That's what it looks like. It could possibly be an oil line that went bad or something like that, but it looks like it's coming out of the tailpipe. So I would definitely think that is a terminal problem. Something internal. And with oil coming out the header pipes and onto those tires, Jack doing a good job of hanging on. And there's Bobby Labonte right behind him, a bit blinded from the smoke that's slipping through on the inside. Have another look here, and you'll see heavy traffic as Jack Ingram goes off into turn 1. You see the smoke starting right as he enters turn 1 there. He just kind of lets the car drift up and try to get out of the way of all the other traffic. Let's go down to Glenn Jarrett with a report from the pits.
All right, we're standing in Davey Allison's pits alongside his crew chief, Red Farmer. Davey was brought into the pits for a black flag consultation. Red, what happened?
Well, on the start, the cars in front of him kind of stalled, and Davey was on the gas wide open, and he had to go to the right to keep him running in the back of him because he was already under full power. So he didn't pass the car, but he did get alongside of him, so they gave us a stop and go.
Well, he was very fortunate that the caution flag came out and enabled him to catch back up. The thing about it is he was trying to avoid an altercation. He got penalized for it. Steve Evans?
Well, Glenn, I have a question. A lot of the crew chief engine builders tell me that Rockingham is notoriously hard on the big V8 engines we'll be seeing Sunday in the Winston Cup event. Does that translate to these V6s as well? Hard on engines because of the way the track is banked. It takes a lot of torque to get the car out of the turn. What do you think, Phil Parsons?
I think you're exactly right. It's very tough racetrack on engines here because of the immense acceleration off the turn.
So we're under caution, the first of the day. Jack Ingram, the first car behind the wall. He started all 17 Grand National Series races here. Just finished second in the spring of '84. He duplicated that with a run in 1986. And you see the two pace cars, one leading the field and one at turn 4 peels off to take the cars pitting down pit road at reduced speed, and no one has taken that opportunity under this caution. So it's Earnhardt, Irvin, and Wallace. Harry Gant up to 4th, and Jimmy Hensley, the outside pole sitter, settling in 5th position. With 5 of those 197 laps completed here at the Rock. Looks like Ingram has pulled that car toward the hauler. So it will be a short ending to perhaps his last day at the Rock as a driver, but Ingram has said he may be back next year as a car owner with somebody a little younger in the car.
I think he will, Mike. He said I've read an article that Jack said he just doesn't feel like he can do the things that somebody in their 20s or 30s can do, so he's going to step out and let somebody else have a try at it.
Pace car with the field all collected, and the NASCAR safety officials have had a look down in turns 1 and 2 to make sure that that smoke coming out the tailpipes was not indicative of fluid on the racetrack, and they're getting a 1 to go sign. There'll be a down finger restart. It will be single file. That's the indication.
with no cars yet being lapped.
You notice, Mike, that the safety lights on top of the pace car went out when he got to the start-finish line. That's the signal to the field that they're going to go green flag the next time around. When the lights go out on the safety car, flagman gives one to go, then they're going green the next time. If for some reason they decide to change that and stay under caution, then the lights will start flashing again on the pace car. A lot of people don't know that, but that's the signal to the drivers.
Watching the field down the back straightaway. Light indeed off on top of the Pontiac safety car. Earnhardt in a Chevrolet. Up front, Ernie Irvan Chevrolet in second. And we'll ride along with Ernie Irvan as they come down for this restart, and the field springs out behind them up there in the 25-degree banking of turn 3. 7 laps on the board. They're coming around to complete lap 8, and we'll go back to green. Now, Earnhardt is the master of restarts. See if he can get away from Ernie Irvan, or if Ernie will be right with him. There goes Earnhardt. You heard him come to speed, and Ernie loses 2 to 3 car lengths on the race. Right back at him, though, in turn 1. Dale right down against the stripe, shutting the door on Irvan. Kenny Wallace holds third, Harry Gant fourth, Jimmy Hensley fifth, and Dale Jarrett is sixth.
Say, Mike, the reason that Dale Earnhardt is so good on the restarts is because he never does the same thing twice.
Irvan a bit high up off of turn 4. And Kenny Wallace closes up. Tom Peck will get a stop-and-go penalty for jumping the restart as Bobby Hillen's car brings out the caution. Hillen with a big trail of smoke down the front straightaway. Now that's 2 engines in 4 laps. Is that weather-related?
I think it very well could be, Mike. You know, the thing is, these guys did not get a practice session today. The weather is quite a bit different than it was yesterday, so they did not get a chance to look at the spark plugs, read them, see if their car was a little bit too lean, had a little bit too much ignition timing. So I think that could be very well be why we're having two caution flags and 2 blown engines so early.
So engines going off like popcorn here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway, and just as we get started, we are under the 2nd caution flag of the day. Earnhardt continues to lead. Ernie Irvan in 2nd. Hillen goes to the garage. Kenny Wallace is 3rd. Harry Gant is 4th. And Jimmy Hensley 5th. More from the North Carolina Motor Speedway at Rockingham after these messages. With Bill Parsons topside, Steve Evans, Brock Yates, and Glenn Jarrett. Down along pit road where we're under the 2nd caution of the afternoon and about to go back to green. First one for Jack Ingram's engine, this one for Bobby Hillen. And Bobby Labonte will be a man to watch in the 44 car as he moves up. He started 27th, and Bobby's up to 14th position, having a good run so far. Looking for green, and it's out. And again, Earnhardt gets a good strong jump, and here comes Kenny Wallace on the outside of the yellow car, Ernie Irvan. Back under green for the 3rd time today. Earnhardt just hauls away. Bit of smoke out of the Tommy Ellis car on that restart. Looks like he got hit in the back. Maybe Tommy didn't quite go when the green flag came out. Somebody hit him in the back. Did some pretty substantial damage. He's going to have to stop it and beat the fender off the tire. The field was pretty bunched on the restart. And drivers trying to avoid the penalty for jumping. And the result is a bit of damage on the right rear of the Ellis car. He is on pit road and will lose a lap here as Dale Earnhardt brings the field off turn 4. Earnhardt extending the advantage to 3 car lengths. Ellis, the repair is completed, so it's back on the racetrack. 1 lap down. 12.5 seconds for Tommy Ellis, a quick pit stop, but nonetheless, he lost a lap in the process. You're in Ernie Irvan's car as he tracks down Dale Earnhardt, and his mirror is about to fill up with Kenny Wallace. Back to turn 1. Glenn Jarrett.
Mike was standing by with 5-time national champion Jack Ingram. Jack's on his farewell tour this year for the Goodwrench National Circuit. Had a short day today, Jack. What happened?
Well, something happened. The engine had cracked the cylinder head or block. Getting a lot of water and oil.
A short day. I understand this is your last appearance here at Rockingham. You won't be back in the fall.
Thank you.
Okay, that's Jack Ingram. And now we also have another early retiree, Bobby Hillen. Bobby had a little early trouble there also. Seems like things are happening real fast here on the backstretch pit. What happened to your car?
I just, the motor blew up. I think it was a rod. Went right outside the block, so just one of those deals.
Well, it's got to be disappointing to fall out this early, but I know you're real excited about the new developments concerning your Winston Cup career.
Well, I'm really looking forward to driving for the race. I got a really good team, and we're just really looking forward to it.
Well, I hope you have better luck in tomorrow's race.
Trouble continues for Tommy Ellis. He's back on pit road as Dale Earnhardt enjoys this 3-car length advantage on Ernie Irvin. Kenny Wallace in third, Harry Gaddis fourth, Jimmy Hensley fifth. They have pulled off, and there's the damage for the Ellis car. So they'll work on the left rear. They had the right rear last time in, and Tommy, former Busch Series champion, now goes 2 laps down. Back up front with the front 5. Good long gap back from Jimmy Hensley. I'll tell you, Mike, that's Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett is his way past Jimmy Hensley up in the 5th position now. In the blue car, he's on the inside right now, trying to get by Kenny Wallace, and does make the pass. Well, Glenn Jarrett said at the start of the show he'd take the 2 Dales and give up the field. I'm glad my money's in my pocket right now. That is Dale Jarrett. He's up to 4th. Jimmy Hensley is that 6th place car. Now, Ernie Irvin sawing at the wheel a bit there down in the corner. I'll tell you, we've run about 20 laps now, and it's, you know, the racetrack's starting to get a little bit slick. I'm sure the cars have slowed down probably 3/4 of a second from where they started. Front 5, single file. And one driver moving up well is Bobby Labonte in 44. He has come from deep in the field on the start and is now up to the top 10. Labonte, the 1 car just ahead, Jeff Gordon. And Bobby Labonte is there. He's moving up fast. Joe Nemechek in the white car, 87. Brock Yates.
Mike, I'm with Tony Page. Tommy Ellis, the crew chief, and he had that restart really bent the rear end of the car up. Did it hurt the rear suspension?
Well, the restart there, the 3 car ran into the back end of our car there. Had a super day going. We're 1 lap down now, maybe 2. We got a fast race car. Hopefully we get back up there and make it up and have a good day.
Is the chassis all right, or just the bodywork bent up? Is the chassis bent up, or just the bodywork?
Should be fine. Just a little tire rub.
Okay, there you go. Okay, Mike, here you have it.
And the car that ran into Tommy Ellis struck down does show some front-end sheet metal damage to upset the aerodynamics on that automobile. Watching Bobby Labonte in 10th. He started in 27th position. The red 44 car moving right up now on Jeff Gordon and Joe Nemechek. Nemechek in a Chevrolet, Gordon in a Thunderbird, and Bobby Labonte driving an Oldsmobile. And Nemechek holding them up just a little bit. It looks like it. It looks like he's holding them. Now we see Jeff Gordon has got underneath Nemechek. So if he can get by him, he cut the car a little bit, ran across the apron and got out of shape there. So a little bit of inexperience, but I tell you, when this guy gets more experience under his belt, he's going to be something. Nemechek is 8th. Jeff Gordon in the number 1 car, driven by Mark Martin previously in this series, is 9th. Bobby Labonte is in the 10th spot. As they work through turns 3 and 4. 8th place at stake here. Bobby Labonte ducked down underneath Jeff Gordon. Back with the leaders now, Dale Earnhardt, Ernie Irvin, Harry Gant in the green car, and Dale Jarrett, who's moved up to 4th position. Earnhardt has led every lap from the pole. There's Kenny Wallace. Running in 5th spot, Jimmy Hensley behind, and here's the 1-2 combination. Earnhardt and Irvin. Irvin told us before the race, Mike, that he wanted to have to use the camera and turn it around and look out his back window to see Earnhardt. He needs to get by him so we can do that. 26th lap of 197 here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. And the battle for 9th rejoined here. Jeff Gordon high, Bobby Labonte trying to snooker him down low, and Todd Bodine in the 34 cars come up to join that battle. Jeff Burton is right behind them. So a big stack up here for 8th on back. Gordon in the number 1, the Ford. Labonte's Oldsmobile. I tell you, Mike, we talk about Jeff Gordon. I think this is the first time Todd Bodine has ever raced him.
Jeff Gordon was here last year, set on the outside pole. This is the first time Todd Bodine was in the race.
Back up front, you see the blue car top of your screen. That's Dale Jarrett, and he is reeling in Earnhardt, Irvin, and Gant. First through fourth place. There's Bobby Labonte once again. He's made the pass on Jeff Gordon. Moves up to ninth. Todd Bodine, the 34 car, 11th. Joe Nemechek in 87 is 8th. Glenn?
Okay, I'm in Bobby Labonte's pit, standing by with his crew chief as well as his father, Bob Labonte. Bob, he is really on the move. What's the story here early on?
Well, you know, we didn't time real good, but we got the car real good yesterday afternoon, and we figured at the start here it's going to bide its time for a little while, but it's running so good, it's just going for it.
You got to like what you see early on. I say you got to like what you see early on.
Yeah, really do.
Bobby Labonte up to 8th. Here you see the 9th on back. Nemechek in 87 is 9th. Todd Bodine is going to take that spot away. Jeff Gordon running right there, and Jeff Burton. 30 laps complete. We'll be back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway right after these messages. Dale Earnhardt and Ernie Irvin out in front of the Goodwrench 200. Harry Gant has now moved up into the second position just one lap ago. Gant in the number 7 car set sail on Earnhardt. Irvin drops to 3rd. Dale Jarrett pulls down the fourth spot. Kenny Wallace is in 5th position. Now Ernie Irvin working lap traffic along with the 2 leaders dead ahead.
You see how the cars have already moved up the racetrack, Mike. We're only 35 laps into this thing. They've already moved up about 3 lanes.
There's your front 5. The only Busch Series regular among them, Kenny Wallace, who had such a great run last Saturday at Richmond, Virginia, dueling Dale Earnhardt in the closing lap. Gant having a look on the outside of Earnhardt now as you watch from Ernie Irvin's car. And Irvin's about to have his hands full with Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, Harry Gant looks awfully strong right now, Mike. He started back in 7th position. He's already up to 2nd. It looks like he's giving Earnhardt all he wants.
Harry Gant finished 2nd here in 1982 and won in 88 and 89. Battle for 3rd on the low side, Dale Jarrett. In the blue car in yellow, Ernie Irvin up high. And Irvin looks helpless to hold off the advances of Jarrett.
Irvin appears to have lost the handle a little bit. He's going a lot higher in the turn than the rest of the cars. He's starting to smoke a little bit. And it's just a matter of moments, I think, before Dale can go ahead and get on by him.
Dale Jarrett started 9th. He's battling Irvin for 3rd. From over the shoulder of Ernie Irvin. And you'll see Dale Jarrett's car come into view on the left. Irvin off the throttle, you hear. Right back in it. Dale Jarrett running right in his blind spot and trails him in the back stretch. Jarrett's season got off to a horrible start at Daytona. Got caught up in one of those big multi-car melees. Took his car home in a basket.
I'll tell you, Mike, watch the difference in the grooves they take in the turn. You see how high Irvin goes? It looks like Dale, all they have to do is go around a short way, but if the track gets slick on the bottom, that's why they're going up top to get some fresh racetrack. Let's go down to Brock Yates in the pits.
Bill, I'm with John Irvin, Dale Jarrett's crew chief, and he's running like a freight train, John.
Yes, the Nestor Front Ditko car is running real good right now. We're just a tick tight, but with nothing we can't take care of when we make a tire change. We're going to have to bid somewhere about halfway and hopefully go rest the way.
Did you expect them to come to the front like this?
Yes, because we had a good practice yesterday afternoon.
All right, there, you heard it. So, Glenn, Brother Dale's doing just fine.
Yeah, he's just a tick tight. How much is a tick, Phil? For Dale, it's about 200 to the second a lap. Okay. Dale Earnhardt in the number 3 Chevrolet. Harry Gant right with him in number 7. Trying to come up, Kenny Wallace battling with Ernie Irvin. There's 1 and 2. And top of your screen, 3 and 4. Irvin and Dale Jarrett. Morgan Shepherd moving up now to the top 5. Going past Kenny Wallace. Number 97 car, and Bobby Labonte also moving toward the front. 42 laps complete.
like it's more substantial than tire speed. I don't know what that might be. Maybe a valve cover leaking or something like that. Jeff Gordon on pit road. So too Davey Johnson. The left side tires for Gordon. And Johnson stopped for at least gas, and they're going under the hood on his car. You're riding with third place Ernie Irvin. Behind Dale Earnhardt and Harry Gant. I talked earlier, it looked like Irvin had lost the handle, but he's hanging right in there with him, Mike. So he's run a little bit higher than they are, but seems to be keeping the difference about the same. That's third place. Fourth, all by himself now. Dale Jarrett has dropped back a bit. Bobby Labonte and Morgan Shepherd. There they are, battling for fifth spot. Kevin's right with him. Kenny Wallace in the 36 car. Just out of view to the right. Morgan Shepherd in 97. In sixth position. And they were side by side a lap ago. Back up front with Earnhardt and Harry Gant. Ernie Irvin is on pit road. Signboard out. There's Tony Glover going under the hood. And let's go to Brock.
Well, Mike, we're down here with Ernie Irvin's crew. As you can see, they're poking around inside the engine. There's clearly an oil leak. They're working on, they're trying to find, they cannot see what's going on here. The crew chief in there, they're looking at the left side of the engine. Irvin just cut the engine off, so there's obviously some serious problem. This is, of course, a disaster for Ernie in a short, relatively sprint-style race like this. But the crew's continuing to poke around in there. We can't get in close enough to find out what they're doing, but there's surely some serious stuff. Ernie has lifted his goggles off his head and off the helmet, and looks pretty resolved. So we got some troubles here, Mike.
I'll tell you, you can on the underside of the hood of Ernie Irvin's car, you can see the black. That was oil all over. That was all over the hood. So it was definitely more than likely a valve cover, a front seal, something like that. Back with the leaders for now. Gant, Dawson, Earnhardt. Just a couple of feet off Dale's rear bumper. Bobby Labonte up to fourth now. He started back in 27th. What a run he's had today. Gant looking for the lead, and this time. That's a wide car. That black car, that's number 3, is a wide car. Harry Gant, he's got the horsepower and the bite off the corner. He'll give Dale a run down the back straightaway. 48 laps complete. We may see the first lead change of the day here. Caution is out. Racing back to the flag, and Gant will lead them back to caution. So Harry Gant becomes the second leader of the day. I don't see anything, Mike. There may be some debris on the racetrack somewhere, but there's nothing obvious right now as to why the caution is out. Pace cars will pick up the field. Elmo Langley down at turn 1. And with the caution out, we'll take this break from the North Carolina Motor Speedway. The Goodwrench 200 on TNN. We'll be right back.
Okay, Mike, I'm with Ernie Irvin, who just fell out. Ernie, we saw some smoke out of the race car for a couple of laps, and it got worse and worse and worse, and finally in. Did Ivan Baldwin figure out what it was?
No, it just got the motor so oily that we couldn't tell where the oil was coming from. So, you know, we could go back out and keep trying to find it, but, you know, we don't race for points. We're here to do good for our sponsor. We can't do good being here in the pit.
Well, you had a good run in it for a while. You got right up on Dale and ran with him pretty good for the first laps, and then was the oiling starting to affect the performance of the race car before you stopped?
Yeah, I think it was leaking a little bit on the rear tires, but we once we started moving up into the high group, this Mack Tools terminal truck, and you know Chevrolet started running awful good. But you know you got to finish the race before you can win it.
You got it. Well, we'll see you later. Good luck. Okay, Steve.
I'm with Chris Carrier in the Harry Gant pits. You've got to be delighted the way that man is running. But what's he doing to those tires as hard as he's charging?
Well, so far so good. The tires are falling off at a pretty steady rate. About what we expected, but I tell you, the Goodyear Radial is a state-of-the-art tire. There's no doubt about it. We're pretty happy right now. We're a little bit tight off the corner. We're going to make a little change whenever we pit. I don't exactly know right now when that'll be, but maybe we'll be a little bit better after that.
You know, even though you told your driver possibly, hey, Harry, take care of those tires, when he starts racing with Dale Earnhardt, all that goes out the window.
Well, you know, Harry's raced long enough. We let him go at his own pace. He's raced with Earnhardt, Dale Jarrett, and Bobby Labonte and those guys before. He knows about how hard to run the car, and he's run the radials enough. He knows what he's doing. We don't have to guide him too awful much.
How soon will we see that green car on pit road?
Well, I'd like to say that we could go to halfway.
Everybody would like to say that.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to say that, but right now I kind of doubt it. We're just going to watch the stopwatches. When he starts to fall off real quick, he'll know it. When the radial has a characteristic about it. When it goes, period. And when that happens, he'll holler at us, and we'll be in here changing tires. We're not going to take any chances.
Okay, thank you, Chris. We got to go back up to Mike Joyce.
Because we've got to go back to green flag racing. The caution was for debris in turn number 2. Morgan Shepherd, Dave Resendiz, Butch Miller pitted for fuel. So did Davey Johnson. Chuck Bound made a pit stop to repair damage to the nose of his car that he got on the last restart against the back of the Tommy Ellis machine. Back under green, Elton Sawyer caught on the outside of first Gant and now Dale Earnhardt as they take the restart. Elton in the 27 car, his wife Patty Marie driving 42, still under a maiden name, but the first husband and wife combination in a NASCAR race in history. Davey Allison in 28 coming up fast through the pack, running right up on the back of Jeff Burton now, so Allison has blasted back up into the top 10 after suffering that stop-and-go penalty for jumping the initial start of the race. Joe Bessie, the 9 car, caught on the outside as the field blasts on by. And look at the advantage Harry Gant has opened up.
Hey, that was just a matter of Dale Earnhardt having a race side by side with Elton Sawyer for just a matter of a lap or a lap and a half, and that gave Harry Gant that advantage.
Earnhardt's number 3 is second. There's Dale Jarrett, the third place car. Tommy Ellis 2 laps down. And then Bobby Labonte. Behind Labonte is Kenny Wallace, and right back of Wallace is this man, Davey Allison. Allison now 6th. After a green flag stop and go. Jeff Burton in 99 right with him.
Hey, Davey Allison told us at the top of the show that his car was fast in yesterday's practice, and obviously he was telling the truth.
And he said in free race, had no qualms about being able to get to the front. Now Kenny Wallace in 36 having a tough time, lapping past Tommy Ellis in 56, and here comes Davey. Harry Gant's lead now up to a second and a half as we watch this battle for 5th place. Kenny Wallace giving Ellis his blue car lots of room. And Davey Allison showing us that high lane is just not quite as quick.
Not right now. I think it eventually will be. You've got a good battle at the right of your screen for second position.
There it is, Dale Jarrett coming up. In the blue car, 32.
Look who's right on his bumper. Right on his bumper, Bobby Labonte.
Let's go to Ron.
Well, Mike, I'm with Tony Uri, who looks concerned. Dale looks like he's getting out of up in the high groove. Has he got some problems?
Yeah, the car's getting a little loose. You got to stop and get some right side tires.
Okay, there you heard it. Tony says they're coming in. Tires are starting to go wide on him, Mike.
So Earnhardt dropping a bit. Bobby Labonte moves up on the leaderboard to 4th. His best career finish at this racetrack. The spring race last year, where Bobby finished in 4th place. Glenn?
While Dale Earnhardt is slipping back to the field, another guy that's really marching onto the front is Davey Allison. Has overcome that early penalty that he had to take. Red, what's going on out there?
Well, Davey said the car was working real good. We had to go all the way back to the 38th spot. The 50 lap, he's done that back up to 6th place. So the car was working good. A little bit tight to get in the corner. We're not going to make any chances. Now he's 5th place. So we've done from 38 to 5th. We're real happy. Davey said the car is working great.
Okay, that's the story from Davey Allison. A man on the move.
From 38th to 5th. This car of Davey Allison, who passed Kenny Wallace a lap ago, putting Wallace back to the 6th position. And Allison starts to track down Dale Earnhardt. It's a little funny to see those colors of that man in Chevrolet.
It sure does.
Here's Harry Gant up front all alone. Dale Jarrett now owns the 2nd spot. Bobby Labonte is 3rd. Gant is by himself going into turn number 3. Perhaps 2 seconds ahead of this duo. Dale Jarrett in 32 and Bobby Labonte in 44, the 2nd and 3rd place car. They have a like margin
back to fourth place, Earnhardt. Bobby's coming hard. He's not letting Dale Jarrett get away.
Oh, he really is. I'd say as far back as Bobby Labonte started, he really has a good race car. If he can just take his time, try not to abuse the car, then I think he'll have some for him towards the end of the race.
Bobby Labonte. Right up the tailpipes of Dale Jarrett. This duo, 2.25 seconds behind leader Harry Gant. Out of turn 2. Look at the rear spoilers on these cars, Phil. They're just about vertical. They're probably holding back as much air as they are pushing down.
Well, they really are. You know, the thing, you see the cars at Daytona with the spoilers at 25 or 30 degrees. And that's so the cars will go fast. Here, you want them to handle well. You want them to go fast through the turn so that you'll see the spoilers go straight up. A good side-by-saddle with between Davey Allison and Dale Earnhardt, fourth position.
And Earnhardt has to give it up. So Davey Allison moves up into fourth, coming all the way from 38, tail end of the field after that stop-and-go penalty on the first lap. 65 complete out of 197 they'll run today. Chuck Bound, the Busch Grand National champion, has taken his car behind the wall. 22 cars running on the lead lap. And for fifth, Kenny Wallace is underneath Dale Earnhardt. A replay of their Richmond battle 1 week ago. That time it was in the closing laps for second place.
I'll tell you, it's obvious that Dale Earnhardt's tires has gone away. So there's no way that Dale can make it halfway. He'll be half a lap behind if he tries to make it to halfway. So I think you'll see him going in the pits before too much longer.
Now the question is, how long can he stay out and keep backing up without giving up too much track position? As all of these drivers with the new NASCAR pitting rules will be making their tire stops under the green flag. Now Kenny has got to be loving this. He got out of that car at Richmond last weekend, went over to Dale's truck, and he was just bubbling with enthusiasm at having raced alongside the number 3 car for all those laps right to the finish. Raced each other hard and clean.
Well, they really did. He's not going to be real happy right now. He wants to get by Dale Earnhardt and go on and try to catch Bobby Labonte and Davey Allison.
67 laps completed at the North Carolina Motor Speedway as this battle continues for fifth position between Earnhardt and Kenny Wallace. More great Busch Grand National action from the Rock coming your way right after these messages. Harry Gant's lead is diminishing. It's down to about a second and a half now over Dale Jarrett, Bobby Labonte in third, Davey Allison, and Kenny Wallace has just given up the fifth spot, battling along with Dale Earnhardt for fifth and sixth position. 72 laps now on the board. There's Harry Gant alone out front, but they are reeling him in. Dale Jarrett and Bobby Labonte. Very tight battle there behind the race leader. That's for second spot. And Jeff Burton has come up to be a player up against the top 5. Bobby might have laid a bumper on Dale just there.
Looks like he got awfully close there. I think Bobby really would like to get by Dale.
One car looks like Darrell Waltrip's car in the pit. Let's find out from Glenn Jarrett.
Well, we are indeed standing here with Darrell Waltrip, that familiar face on TNN. Darrell, this is one place we didn't expect you to see this early in the race. What happened?
Something broke in the motor. I think it either broke a rod or broke a piston. The car was just really starting to come in. The track was a little bit green. The car was pushing too much. It was just starting to kind of neutral up. I thought we were going to have a good run, but then the motor broke.
How could you tell about the tire wear this early on? What kind of tire wear was your car getting, and what conditions the track in other than coming to you now?
No rubber down right now, and the track's a little tight. But looking at the tires, they look like they'd run all day right now.
Okay, that's the story from Darrell Waltrip. Back to Mike Joyce.
Davey Allison pitting at lap 75, and this is more than just a routine stop. Robert Yates on the radio. That's not Robert, but they're on the radio to David and going backward.
Looks like, again, something happened to the engine on Davey's car. They opened the hood. They weren't in any hurry and kind of looked it over and said, let's push it behind the wall. So
the weather has changed a lot. It was warm and wet, very damp and humid this morning. It's turned a good deal cooler, and I wonder if that's having quite an effect on these engines.
I think it probably will. Here we again have a race for second between Dale Jarrett and Bobby Labonte. They haven't really lost much ground to Harry again. You would think battling like this they would lose ground, but they've kept the same interval about a half a straightaway. Harry again may have used up a lot of tires coming to the front and getting past Dale Earnhardt. Bobby Labonte tries it again. He's got a good run at him now coming off turn 4, Mike. He does have him passed if he can just stay in front of him when he gets to the turn. So the new second place car, Bobby Labonte's Oldsmobile. Dale Jarrett's Pontiac back to third. Harry Gant on the point in a Buick. Buick Olds Pontiac Chevrolet. Earnhardt in fourth. Ward Burton tips the Charlie Henderson car, and this may be the first of scheduled stops. Let's get right side tires on his car as we watch Bobby Labonte trying to run down Harry Gant. Say Bobby Labonte was so happy to get to Richmond last week and put the week at Daytona behind him. He lost his primary car in a Friday afternoon practice crash, jumped in his brother Terry's car, who had qualified for the car in 12th position, and was in that big first lap crash and destroyed that car. He was so glad to get to Richmond and just to get a race under his belt and bring a car home in one piece. Jeff Burton in 99, bringing Jeff Gordon with him. Two of the younger drivers on the tour coming toward the front. And just ahead, Kenny Wallace. They're going to go give Earnhardt some fits here. I think Earnhardt was probably out of school before any of these three guys were born. You're probably right. I'll tell you, I think Jeff Gordon is one lap down. He made an unscheduled pit stop between, I think, the second and third caution flags. So I think he's one lap down. But the rest of these cars are battling for position. Dale Earnhardt fourth, Kenny Wallace fifth, and Jeff Burton in the 99 car sixth. Burton in the car vacated by Tommy Ellis after he took the Papke and Johnson car to a championship. Elton Sawyer getting a lap down to Earnhardt. Here's Steve Evans.
Guys is prepared for a pit stop, but we don't see any panic out there. They got the tires out, the fuel out. Apparently, they're watching the competition. As long as they're not sawing away consistently on Harry's lead, they're going to keep him out there. You heard Chris Terry or Hisuchi say earlier, they still have that fantasy, some say, of nursing it to the halfway point and running this on one pit stop. The cool weather might help that. They're ready, but we don't see any signs of Harry as of yet.
And Steve, they may do it. We're at 81 laps, 82 right now on the board. Another 17 laps would be halfway and give Harry Gant that tire mileage. You know, I thought there was no way Dale Earnhardt could make it to halfway with the way his car was falling back. He still has lost a lot of ground to Harry Gant, but he is staying out there. He's staying away from Kenny Wallace. Let's go down to Brock Yates.
Mike, I just talked to Tony Urey, and he said they're going to hang on for a while. They know the car is real loose, but he says we're going to try to go 100 laps. So they're just being real patient. As you can see, there's no panic here, but obviously Dale is working real hard right now with a very loose race car.
Kentucky and David Green just made his pit stop. Boy, he sat on the pole for the Goodies 300 at Daytona. Didn't qualify at Richmond. Tommy Houston moving along well here, and he has come from deep in the field. Houston up now battling for the 9th position. Has had quite a run here today. Started this race well back. Started back in 26th position. That's the number 6 car. Houston in a Buick. Ed Barrier in the 5 car started in 37th position. So obviously a number of these drivers having trouble in qualifying, but they've got the right race day setup. Robert Presley is right with them in the 59 car, the Dan Wells Oldsmobile. That's the blue car, the 96 car is just behind the Robert Presley car. You know, he survived one of those stop-and-go penalties. Looks like Tommy Houston's going to make his pit stop. Scott Houston and the crew ready to go for Tommy as he'll pit on the front straightaway. It'll be interesting to see whether he goes for 2 or 4 tires, Mike. Uh-oh, the NASCAR official, you see him on the right of the screen and see where the front spoiler of Houston's car is. That's what the official's pointing at. He's got the watch out, and Houston may spend a little time here in the penalty box. We'll see. That's supposed to be a 15-second penalty. If any part of your car goes over the white line that is the end of your pits, it's supposed to be a 15-second penalty. Because they'll wait until the pit work is done and then impose the penalty. So we'll see how long the penalty. If we can keep the clock moving, we'll see exactly how long the penalty is. little trouble with the left side there. Scott Houston finishing it up. And now they wait. That's the big difference between a Winston Cup crew and a Busch Grand National crew. Tommy Houston has one of the better Busch Grand National crews, Mike, and it took them 40 seconds to change 4 tires. The Winston Cup crew will do it normally in about 22 seconds. Cost him 2 laps, so Houston 2 laps down. Harry Gant, the leader, trying to ride it out to halfway. 88 laps complete, 11 to the halfway mark. Bobby Labonte is catching him. Labonte at 44. Running down the race leader, but Harry controls the action right now. With Labonte closing in, here's Glenn.
Once again, we're standing by with Bob Labonte. Bobby's running awfully strong. How much longer can you go before you're going to have to come in and change tires?
Well, you know, we're kind of new at this game right here, so I think we're going to do whatever Gant does. We can't let him get away from us, so whatever he pits, we'll probably pit at the same time.
Okay, you heard that. He's going to wait until the leader pits, and they're going to try it. Let's go back to Steve Evans now.
Well, still, Glenn, I don't see any sign of any frustration or any confusion or any panic among Harry Gant's crew. They're out there just watching their guy run around, not apparently too worried about Bobby Labonte. You have to wonder, when is that pit stop going to come? And as Mike said, maybe they will make it to the halfway point.
I tell you, Steve, you know, Bob Labonte said they're going to do what the leader does. Well, they're leading the race, so they're the ones that have to decide. I'll do whatever I do, right? Okay. 90 laps complete. Tom Peck makes his pit stop. Bobby Labonte up front. And dealing with lap traffic. Davey Johnson on the outside of Clifford Allison in the 23 car. On the inside. Now, then Harry Gant has lost the lead. What will he do? Back straightaway. Gant working lap tires, and here comes Tommy Houston up behind him, and Houston's going like a rocket on those fresh tires. Bobby Labonte stepping it out now with a 5-car length lead. Gant in the blue car right behind Harry Gant's green machine is Tommy Houston. And Houston is trying to get one of what we're now told is 3 laps back from the race leader. Houston underneath Harry Gant. Lap car, Tracy Leslie. Off Houston, and Bobby Labonte scoots away a bit. Let's see if Harry Gant cuts down for pit road. Not this time. 93 laps. Go on the board. Labonte the leader. Gant in second. Dale Jarrett third. Dale Earnhardt in fourth. Fifth is Kenny Wallace. Houston now past Gant. But still in second spot. I wouldn't think Bill he's in any jeopardy. No, he can see the leader, Mike. That's the key. He can see Bobby Labonte, who's, you know, just what 10 car lengths ahead. But here he comes. He ducks left, coming in the pits. Here's Steve.
Harry Gant is coming in on, I believe, lap number 93 or 94, very close to the halfway point. Let's make sure he doesn't cross that front line and incur the 15-second penalty as Tommy Ellis did. No, Harry Gant positions that car perfectly. Fuel going in, right side tires. This will be, I believe, a 4-tire change. Let's see. Yes, it will be. All 4 tires. Harry Gant in the pit. Beautiful stuff. We've got a watch on it. We'll try to get you a good time on it once the car moves. It's not just the time you've been in the pit. It's the time you've been slowing down and getting out. It can also be critical to when he stops. Harry Gant out of the pit in 29 seconds. Thank you, gentlemen.
Dale Earnhardt's crew, led by Tony Uri, set to go to work. Rock Yates is there.
Dale Earnhardt in the pits. The crew chief going to work. The crew is making a little bit of an adjustment on the right rear corner of the race car. Probably trying to tighten it down just a little bit. He is going to take outside tires. Here they come around. Going to take the left side as well. More fresh sets going on here. The fuel can almost complete here. A little bobble here, but yeah, there's a little bit of a bobble, Phil Parsons. This crew, of course, one of the very best in the business, but it's done now. So, spent a little bit of a flushing up front with that, and he's out underway, and we've got a 35-second pit stop.
Here's the leader, Bobby Labonte, getting a second can of fuel. Steve Grissom has made his pit stop, and he's gone. I'll tell you, Brock, that was not the same pit crew that we'll see for Dale Earnhardt's Sunday's race. That's his Busch Grand National crew, so that is not indicative of how his pit crew will be tomorrow. Labonte getting finished up. Jeff Burton is on pit road. 4 for Bobby Labonte. And
and he goes back into action. They'll put 4 tires on Jeff Burton's car. Here's Dale Jarrett. Pontiac coming down pit road.
Dale was our race leader with the fact that all the rest of the leaders had pitted. Dale was our race leader.
And right now, everybody that's pitted is holding their breath that there is no caution flag, because each one of these cars is going 2 laps down to the leader making green flag pit stop. Burton is finished in a way. John Irvin led through for Dale Jarrett finishing up here with left side tires. Patty Maurice coming in.
I'll tell you, Bobby Labonte, Mike, had such a poor qualifying effort that he was pitted on the backstretch. So it'll be interesting to see how he comes out on the racetrack in relation to the other leaders, but he was pitted on the backstretch.
It leaves this man, Morgan Shepherd, as the race leader as he takes the halfway sign on the racetrack. Shepherd had already been in once for fuel, but has not stopped under green. Jimmy Hensley makes a stop as Dale Jarrett pulls away, and we're told that you were a good guy. Here's Steve.
I am with a pair of Harry Gant's tires and Todd Carpenter of Goodyear. You're the expert. How do they look?
They're wearing very well. I mean, fresh tires are picking up speed. They're working great.
How many more laps could he have gone, do you think? How many more laps were left on?
Tires are about half worn out, but performance goes down to a certain point.
Thank you, John. And I'm sure Harry Gant wouldn't mind seeing some yellows a little later on in this event where he can nurse those tires to the wire. Mike?
Jimmy Hensley coming off pit road. The Donaldson Beverly car getting 4 tires. Everybody's stopping under green, and it's not a monkey see, monkey do situation, but when one guy comes in for fresh tires, the rest of the cars can't afford to stay out there and get further behind.
That's exactly right, Mike. The car comes in and gets fresh tires. As you watch Kenny Wallace, the 36 car, just drive by Morgan Shepherd, you know, Carton Stafford, you'll be a second slower than the car that has 4 fresh tires. So if you stay out there 5 more laps, then you lose 5 seconds on the racetrack.
Let's run down the leaders for you as Shepherd gets passed by Dale Earnhardt, who's also on fresh rubber. Morgan Shepherd up front. Harry Gant is second. Dave Resendiz has not stopped. He's the 3rd place car of the Massachusetts driver. Bobby Labonte, 4th after his pit stop, and Kenny Wallace is 5th. 102 laps complete at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. We'll be right back. Earnhardt trying to close in. On the younger of the Wallace brothers, there are 3, not just 2.
You know, Mike, the reason Morgan Shepherd can stay out so long is he made one of the an early caution flag pit stop just for fuel. So we don't know about his tires, but he can stay out maybe for another 30 or 40 laps on fuel if he so desires.
Shepherd with Harry Gant well back. His lead now cut to 6.8 seconds. Harry cut 4 seconds of lead in 3 laps. And here's Shepherd on pit road. Morgan's Thunderbird stops for service. At least right side tires, and they have 2 more rolled up there.
Looks like to me like they're only going to go for 2 tires. Now he's getting the left front tire ready. You see the man standing at the front of the car getting the left front tire ready. Definitely going to be a 4 tire change. Let's go to Brock Yates.
Steve, I'm with Steve Bird, who's the crew chief on Kenny Wallace's number 36. You made the stop. Any changes other than that?
No, Kenny took the chassis was pretty good. I think he's down a little power. The way the new pit rules are, we just got to try to be a little lucky here. So we're looking pretty good.
Is it going to get? It's going to get loose later on in the race, I would imagine. So you don't want to stop again.
No, I don't think we'll get loose. We worked real hard on that yesterday. If anything, it'll start pushing. We're going to stay pretty good.
Go get it. Okay. Yeah, Mike, back to you. If Steve Bird tells you that, you can take it to the bank. He is the Busch Grand National equivalent of Jake Elder. He's probably the finest crew chief on this pit road.
He sure is, Mike. I tell you, he took Robbie Moroso to all his Busch Grand National success. He got with Steve Grissom last year. Steve ended up winning four races. We're looking at your leader, Harry Gant. I tell you, Harry's got a pretty substantial lead right now. His pit stop must have been that much better than everybody else's, because he's almost a half a lap ahead.
Harry Gant took over the lead when Morgan Shepherd came on to pit road for fuel and 4 tires. Shepherd completing service in 27 seconds. Dale Earnhardt running in 4th. Moving up with Kenny Wallace right behind in 5th. They move up on the Tracy Leslie car. Already a lap down.
So we had
Dave Rezendes in second because he had made a caution flag pit stop. He is now in the pits making his green flag pit stop. He was the second place car, so he'll drop back. That'll bring Bobby Labonte back up to second, Earnhardt to third, and Kenny Wallace to fourth.
There's Rezendes coming off pit road, one of 12 cars that came into this race without sponsorship. Kind of hard to believe with all of these races on television and radio this year and the great following that Busch Grand National Series Racing has. There's probably some bargains to be had down there on pit road. 112 of 197 laps complete at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. We'll be right back after we pause for these messages. Kenny Wallace, running fifth, Dale Jarrett. David Green and Todd Bodine shown up there. Joe Nemechek has just gone a lap down. Tom Peck and Jeff Burton as we're under the fourth caution of the day. Pit road relatively empty, as most everybody's made their pit stops under green. You're looking at the back pit lane. A couple of stops there for gas under the caution flag. As you look at Bobby Labonte, the second place car. The North Carolina Motor Speedway is one of the more venerable tracks on the NASCAR circuit. Brock Yates took a look for us at the history of this 1-mile super speedway.
This is the way the racetrack looked in 1965 when the legendary Curtis Turner won the first race here. But a lot has changed since then, including the banking. The racetrack was redone several years later, and the banking was increased to 25 degrees here in turns 3 and 4, 22 degrees down in turns 1 and 2. But more importantly, the actual length of the racetrack changed. NASCAR measures its track length 15 feet from the outside rail. And therefore, the racetrack measures at 1.017 miles, 89 3/4 feet longer than a classic 1-mile track. Therefore, today's race is going to be run at 197 laps instead of the classic 200. Now, when Curtis and the guys were running in the old days with a flatter racetrack, they ran way up against the outer rail. But now, with the higher banking, the quick way around here, and believe me, it's quick, is down here about 2 lanes from the inside. So the line and the speeds have changed considerably here at Rockingham over the years.
You'll hear people occasionally call Busch Grand National Racing the AAA ball of stock car racing, and that's fairly accurate, except I don't know any minor league baseball team that could fill a stadium this size. Just about a capacity crowd for these cars, and they're not running for minor money. Consider that last year Chuck Bound, the series champion, won over $300,000. There's a number of teams out there you may not be all that familiar with that show a tiny profit at the end of the year. It's AAA ball, but like a lot of baseball players, some of them are here to stay. Mike Joy?
Well, the big difference, Steve, is none of those AAA ball players had to face Roger Clemens' fastball the way these Busch Series drivers have to race against Dale Earnhardt. Great racing here at the Rock. 117 laps complete. Harry Gant at the front. Bobby Labonte second. Earnhardt, Wallace, Jarrett, front 5. Right behind them, and on the lead lap, Todd Bodine and David Green. Then Joe Nemechek is a lap down. Tom Peck and Jeff Burton in the 10th spot. Jimmy Hensley's 11th. Steve Grissom back in 12th behind Hensley there. And further back, Ward Burton and Morgan Shepherd. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
We're standing by Dale Jarrett's pit stop. Dale got a little behind on that green flag caution, or green flag pit stop. John Irvin, what happened?
Well, 1 minute, Glenn. Getting ready to start the race. Go, go, go. You allow 6 people to go across the wall, and they said in the driver's meeting if a foot or leg was crossed, that was the 7th man. But one of the guys was going to clean the windshield. He decided he wanted to put a foot across the hell of the Nestle Pontiac, Simcoe Pontiac 15-second stop. So we'll take care of that right now.
Well, fortunately, he caught that caution flag, and that enabled him to make up that distance. I like a man who keeps his mind on his work. Let's go back upstairs.
Bobby Labonte and Dale Earnhardt battle for second place. Harry Gant, the race leader, back straightaway.
Like what John Irvin, what he stopped Glenn Jarrett for, so he could tell Dale when the green flag was out so he could go.
He has to call that signal from the flag stand because the driver up in turn 3 can't see the flag when the green comes out. There's Dale Jarrett, who's dropping off the bottom of the screen. Todd Bodine in the Frank Cece car, 34. having a great run here. He stayed on the lead lap, and he's in the top 8. The youngest of the 3 Bodine brothers in his first really full season of Busch Series racing. Tommy Ellis tries to run him hard into turn 3. Todd getting a good run up there on the top of the racetrack. They're all chasing Harry Gant, the Bandit.
Say, Harry Gant did not want to see this caution flag, Mike, because he had almost a half a lap lead on Bobby Labonte, who was running second.
With the Ford. And that skirmish continues back with Tommy Ellis and Todd Bodine unable to lap past him. We're back with the leaders, and Bobby Labonte wants to change.
Say, Bobby Labonte's car is awfully good here. He lost all that distance on his pit stop. We talked about a half a lap, but he wants to see if he can get by Harry and see if maybe he can drive off with him.
He's done it. Bobby Labonte is the new leader. 4 different drivers. Make that 5, 6 have led this race. Labonte and Gant. 3rd is Earnhardt. 4th, Dale Jarrett. Kenny Wallace right in there. Splitting Earnhardt and Jarrett now. Wallace at 4. Very tightly bunched front 5.
It really is. It's a very, very competitive race. The green flag pit stop spread the field out, but then we got a caution flag that brought them right back together. And now we'll see if Bobby Labonte can drive off like Harry Gant did earlier.
73 laps left. Just a little ways past halfway in the Goodwrench 200. Sunday, the Goodwrench 500 here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway, and you'll see that live on TNN. Here's Steve Evans.
I'm in Harry Gant's pits. As we saw, he was just passed by Bobby Labonte. Chris, any surprise on Harry's part there that Labonte came around him?
Well, we're not exactly perfect right now. We picked up a little push right at that last set of tires, and starting to push out a little bit here in 3 and 4. He's trying to save him right now a little bit, but I tell you, Bobby's a tough little cat. We found that out last year at Darlington. He really had speed last April at Darlington, and our pit strategy just happened to work out just a little bit better. He's tough. He's got a good race car. His dad, and all the guys down there in that crew do a good job. Can't take nothing away from him. He just passed behind him.
Well, it sounds to me like that maybe Terry Labonte just went out horsepower and out-handled Harry Gant.
Labonte in front. Make that Bobby Labonte. Harry Gant in second, and here are the pack of wolves that are chasing Gant. From first back to 5th is only 1.5 seconds. Earnhardt, the 3 car, is 3rd. Maybe not for long. Here comes Kenny Wallace.
Kind of reminiscent of last week between Dale Earnhardt and Kenny Wallace. It looks like Kenny's got him this time and he's bringing Dale Jarrett with him.
2 drivers who most everyone along pit road thought would win a race in 1990 were Kenny Wallace and Bobby Labonte. And today, one of those 2 may see that happen. Brock Yates?
Well, Mike, we just watched Kenny Wallace and Dale Jarrett slide underneath Dale Earnhardt. And Tony, you got to be concerned. Is Dale just sitting back there for a while and saving tires, or did he let those guys by, or is he trying as hard as he can?
We just tighten the car up, put more tires on it, tighten it up. The car's just a little tight right now. We're hoping it'll loosen up when the tires get warm.
Okay. Still optimism here in the Earnhardt pit. Back to you, Mike.
Joe Nemechek on pit road for a stop for left side tire. 129 laps on the board. Bobby Labonte, Harry Gant, Kenny Wallace, Dale Jarrett, and Dale Earnhardt. Also David Green and Todd Bodine on the lead lap. Nemechek was on the lead lap. Made this pit stop. He'll go at least 2, perhaps 3 laps down. 21-second stop for Nemechek's crew. Bobby Labonte takes it down to 1, extending his lead over Harry Gant. Here's Glenn.
Again, we're in Bobby Labonte's pits, and you're looking at the young lady keeping lap times for Bobby Labonte. We stood here, watched him since they changed those 4 tires a while ago and the green flag stopped. His lap times have been very, very, very consistent. He lost some ground on that exhausting strength in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place car. However, he was able to pull up on Harry Gant's rear bumper. When they went back to green flag racing, he wasted no time in driving right by. Gant's car's a little tight. Bobby Labonte's is not. It's handling perfectly right now, and the stopwatch shows just how consistent he is.
credit Steve Burge for that adjustment on the Kenny Wallace car and on the Bobby Labonte car. They made the right choice, too, on tires to put both those cars right up toward the front of the field. But look at Harry Gant lead the young Lions behind him, and getting by him will not be easy. They passed Clifford Allison, who's been black flagged. This fight is for second place. Gant in 7th. Wallace, middle of your screen, in 36th. Dale Jarrett in 32.
I'll tell you, Harry Gant has not shown the dominance right at this stage of the race that he had earlier. Bobby Labonte appears to be the dominant car. We'll have to see if as the race wears on, if the tires get that much hotter and that much more worn, if Harry Gant can bring it back up to the front.
One thing Gant is a master at, and that is knowing how much of his car is left and how much to use at a given time. We'll see if he reels back in Bobby Labonte. If Bobby trying to sprint away uses up too much of his resources. Harry Gant, car number 7, running second. And right with him, young Kenny Wallace and Dale Jarrett, becoming somewhat of a grizzled veteran himself. He's no kid when you think of 19-year-olds like Jeff Gordon out there now.
There's hardly anybody in this field that's a kid when you think in terms of 19-year-old Jeff Gordon.
What were you doing at 19?
Going to college up in Michigan.
And not behind the wheel of a race car.
I didn't start till I was about 21.
Harry Gant has been racing. The first auto race was in Evanston, Illinois in 1895. Harry Gant might have been there. Let's go to Brock.
Mike, I'm with Steve Bird again with Kenny Wallace has been. Steve, he's showing a lot of strength now.
Well, yeah, he's just the car's still real good and everything. I just try to keep him, conserve them tires. We still got about 60 more laps to go. He's playing it cool. He's learning quick, and he's following my advice.
You just want to sit right there for a while?
We're going to try to here until about 20, 30 laps to go here, as long as Bobby don't get going too fast. Hopefully things will work out. You know, we're just going to do the best we can for Cox Lumber and Village Genuine Draft and Mobile One.
Good job. Okay, Steve. There you have it, Mike. Back to you.
Harry Gant racing for second place against Kenny Wallace. Dale Jarrett right with them. Second, third, and fourth. There's your leader, Bobby Labonte. 137 laps. As Steve Grissom heads for pit road on the backside. 60 laps to go. Gant around Bobby Dotter. And we'll be back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway and more of the Goodwrench 200 right after these messages. TNN Motorsports presentation of the Goodwrench 200 is brought to you by the more than 550 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the right parts and the right price. 140 laps complete. We're back under yellow for the 5th time today. It happened up in turn 2. Jeff Gordon was the principal car involved.
You see Jeff there sideways, and somebody in the white car doing a heck of a job.
I think that was Steve Grissom. Check that, Joe Nemechek.
And then Ward Burton on the high side got stopped. But, no damage, and Jeff ought to be able to get back in. And I don't know if he'll normally he would want to get in and get 4 fresh tires, but now that it's a penalty, he may elect to stay out. You know that it's probably flat spotted somewhat, so it'll be interesting to see if he stays out and elects not to change tires.
Let's have a look at the leaders as we're under caution for the 5th time today. Up front, Bobby Labonte. Harry Gant is second. Kenny Wallace in third. Dale Jarrett in fourth. Dale Earnhardt is the 5th place car. And a young driver who's been doing a great job is Todd Bodine. He is 6th, and he's on the lead lap. Then Morgan Shepherd, Robert Presley, Jimmy Hensley, and Jeff Burton. Joe Nemechek falling out of the top 10 after pit stops. And so, too, the number 8 car dropping down off that leaderboard. A pit stop that came just before the caution flag came out. 141, and we'll go back to green next time by. Steve?
You know, NASCAR has some very intelligent rules that govern this Busch Grand National Series, and one of them Brock alluded to earlier in his definition piece, and that is the very small 390 CFM carburetor. It allows the engine to produce about 450 horsepower. Put a bigger 4-barrel carburetor on it, closer to 500 horsepower, more engine breakage, which increases the cost of racing. Quite frankly, even though Rockingham is always tough on engines, I'm quite surprised to see as many of them blow up today as they have. Usually all they'll wear out is valve springs, replace those, and go to the next race.
We gave you back to Jeff Burton in the 10th spot. Tom Peck is 11th. Tommy Houston 12th. And Dave Resendiz 13th. Then 2 laps down, Ed Ferree is 14th. Bobby Daughter back in the 15th position. Ed Barrier showing 16th. Then Tracy Leslie, Joe Nivacek, and David Green. Green flag, 142 laps. Morgan Shepherd up on the outside trying to get himself back on the lead lap. Car number 97 is the 7th place car. Ed Ferree goes around. The yellow flag. Waiting for Ferree, and he will get away. We'll stay under green. Tough break.
Sure was. Ed Ferree had a heck of a starting position. Good qualifying run in 8th, but as you say, Mike, it looked like he might have had a little bit of help getting turned around.
He was the 14th place car. He'll drop back to 19th, still 2 laps down. Up front, Bobby Labonte and Harry Gant who stay under green. Morgan Shepherd could not get his lap back. Dale Jarrett looking underneath Shepherd as he goes to turn 3. Harry Gant headhunting for the lead there as he gets off 4.
Harry's car's a little bit better now. He's let his cars cool off a little bit. Going in 2-3 laps long. Looks like his car's a little bit better. Time will tell us as we go on in 3 or 4 more laps if Bobby Labonte can start stretching him again. Then we're just like we were prior to that car.
And Dale Jarrett, the 3rd place car, has that black machine of Morgan Shepherd a lap down, separating him from the 2-leader. And Shepherd is bringing that forward, looking for his lap back once again.
Hey, Morgan Shepherd, when the caution came out last time, almost got his lap back. Bobby Labonte, the leader, slowed the field down. Morgan Shepherd was probably straight away behind him, wide open, and just lacked about 2 car lengths to start finish line, get his lap back. So I think Morgan's got a pretty good car. If he can get by Bobby Labonte and catch another caution flag, he may be a contender in this race.
Ed Ferree is fitted for tires after that spin. Dale Jarrett is right there, the 3rd place car, the blue car, right side of your screen. Kenny Wallace, just coming into view, is 4th. And Shepherd is going after the leader. Morgan Shepherd in 7th. 1 lap down. Trying to get past Bobby Labonte here and then hope for a caution.
Morgan Shepherd right now is in a position that he cannot conserve his cars, Mike. Because if he doesn't get back in the lead lap, obviously he doesn't have a chance to win the race. So he's doing all he can do right now to get back in the lead lap. When he does that, then he can think about conserving his tires.
Now, we've talked about the husband and wife duo on the racetrack, Helton and Patty Sawyer. But there are other husband and wife teams. At the top of the show, Dale Earnhardt told us that his wife, Teresa, owns his car. And that black 97 is owned by Sonia Shepherd, Morgan's wife. As Morgan takes the lap back from Bobby Labonte and gets himself back on the lead lap. Would you want to drive for your wife?
I do, as a matter of fact, Mike. I have my own Busch car. Actually, my wife, Marcia, has a Busch car, and she's going to let me drive it. Probably the next race will be Darlington.
Does she tell you how to drive it?
Oh, well, yeah, she does that on the highway, on the racetrack. Oh, yeah.
Well, Shepherd is now on the lead lap in 7th place, and a big surprise back at 5th, where young Todd Bodine has passed Dale Earnhardt. So that moves Bodine up onto the leaderboard. Hoping to follow his 2 older brothers into Winston Cup racing.
You know, Todd had a good race last year at Dover. Qualified in the top 5 in the Busch Grand National Division. Finished 3rd right on Harry Gant and Rick Mast bumpers. So Todd Bodine can get around a mile racetrack.
There's Dale Jarrett tracking Harry Gant still. Have they kind of settled into a running order?
I think probably so. I think Harry right now is, again, trying to conserve his tires. I don't think he wants to try to abuse his tires because we've got almost 50 laps to go. Morgan Shepherd, as we mentioned earlier, has no choice but to go as hard as he can go, hope he can catch a caution flag, and get back around and see what he can do with these guys.
There's your leader, and you see the interval, the red car, Bobby Labonte. And it's about 10 car lengths. Back to Harry Gant in the number 7. Dale Jarrett and Kenny Wallace. The 4th place car, Todd Bodine. He is 5th, and he has a big knot of traffic to deal with. that traffic, rather, as Dale Jarrett goes underneath Harry Gant. There's so much for everybody standing pat. They haven't settled. Now we see Kenny Wallace in the black car getting underneath Harry Gant. Dale Jarrett in 32, who says he owes his crew a win here. Last year, right at that spot, turn 1. With a lap or so to go, he cut down on Jamie Obey and spun with victory in sight. Race back for 10th spot, Tom Peck getting passed by the 99 of Jeff Burton. Tommy Houston in the 6th car is there as well. And the 5 car right with them is Ed Barrier. He is another lap down. But Jeff Burton moves up a notch, and so does Tommy Houston. 44 laps to go. Now Kenny Wallace moving on Harry Gant. Brock Yates.
Mike, I'm with John Irvin, Dale Jarrett's crew chief, and he's just running real good. Can you run this kind of a pace right to the end of it, John?
Yeah, we made an adjustment when we changed tires, and that took a little wedge out of it. He said it feels pretty good. It's time to just pace himself right now toward the end of the race to save the tires. And that's the Dick Pontiac doing a pretty good job.
You got a little bit more left in it then?
I think so. We just trying to hold on and not use the tires, but the tires just seem to be a problem of wearing out pretty good today.
Okay, good. So, Dale Jarrett set to make a run for the finish. Back to you, Mike.
42 laps to go. Here's the North Carolina Motor Speedway. They're all chasing Bobby Labonte, who is chasing that first victory. We'll have more from The Rock right after these messages. Rockingham, Bobby Labonte up front. Dale Jarrett, now the second-place car. Kenny Wallace has moved past Harry Gant for third, and Todd Bodine up to fifth, having a great run today, perhaps the best race of his short career. Dale Earnhardt in sixth. Morgan Shepherd's back on the lead lap. Jimmy Hensley a lap down in 8th. Robert Presley and Jeff Burton rounds out the top 10. Burton ahead of Tom Peck, or Tommy Houston and Tom Peck. Among the cars, just 1 lap down. There's Todd Bodine in the Frank Cece car, number 34, previously driven by Jimmy Spencer. And Bodine has done just a tremendous job keeping that car on the lead lap and in the chase today. Brock Yates?
Mike, I'm with Clyde McLaurin, is the crew chief on Todd Bodine's car, and you are running real good right now. You got to feel good about the young man. What's he telling you?
Well, he said the car's feeling pretty good. It's a little bit tight right now, and brother Jeff's on the other radio helping him out, just telling him to hang in there. And we're real happy that he's up front. He's only a rookie, and he's doing well with an unspotted car.
I'll tell you what, Phil Parsons said a little bit earlier that he really knows how to run a mile racetrack.
He's surprising me out there. He's doing one heck of a job.
Okay, good work. So everybody happy down here in the Bodine pit, Mike?
Well, Clyde McLeod is from Kensington, Connecticut. He was the crew chief for Mike McLaughlin's national championship run in the modified series, and previously was crew chief for Todd's older brother, Brett Bodine. He just joined the team this year, and they're doing quite a job, as evident. Here's Jeff Gordon trying to get a lap back off of Bodine, and we're back up front with the leader, Bobby Labonte. What did you think, Phil Parsons, as you were en route to your first Busch Series win?
Well, I'll tell you, it came as a shock, really. It was in Bristol, Tennessee, and it was about, I don't know, 10 or 15 laps to go in the race, and I followed David Pearson for quite a while. And I was doing my best just to say, well, I'm going to finish second here to David Pearson. I was pretty happy about that. All of a sudden, he ran through a little something, slipped a little bit, and I was able to get by him. So it was kind of over before it ever happened.
You didn't have much time to think about it like Bobby Labonte is thinking right now.
No, I sure did.
Here's Steve.
I have a question for Phil Parsons. Phil, some of these teams complaining at this point about the car being a little tight. Is there a chance that the track and the tires will come to the car? In other words, if the tires wear a little bit, the car will loosen up and actually handle better? Is that possible?
It's possible, Steve, but I'll tell you, there's only about 30 laps to go. And more than likely, if the car has a tendency now to want to push, it'll probably push worse as we go.
I once heard a famous race broadcaster describe the last 10 laps or 20 laps of a race such as Bobby Labonte is running right now by saying that the driver is hearing every noise in the car and every little sound and everything, just hoping something doesn't break and so forth. And I'm thinking, you don't say that. You're saying, don't screw up, don't screw up, don't screw up, don't screw up. Bobby Labonte is not screwing up. He's leading this race and moving away from the field. We'll watch it when we come back. closing in on an average speed record for this race. It's 116.0 miles per hour. Sam R. in 1984, average speed so far, 115.5. Bobby Labonte, car 44. Out in front of the field, Dale Jarrett running in second. Third is Kenny Wallace. And they are tied tightly together in a battle for second spot. Back at fourth spot, Harry Gann, and fifth, Todd Bodine. Distance first to second. And there Kenny Wallace working under Patty Moise. Laps up. 26 laps to go. Can Bobby Labonte prevail?
Hey, the wonderful thing about this kind of racing, Mike, is anything can happen. I mean, you could have debris on the racetrack. You could have hopefully nothing happens in the cars, but we could have a caution flag, tighten the field up, and anything can happen in this business. That's what makes it unpredictable.
Bobby Labonte, the leader, takes it off into turn one. Another time. Battle shaping up back behind him. Second and third rather close. There's Kenny Wallace, 36, the third place car. And here is Dale Earnhardt chasing down Todd Bodine. Bodine is in fifth. Earnhardt has said it's time to run. Todd holds him off.
You can count Dale Earnhardt out. You can think his car is loose, his car is pushing, he's drifting back, and all of a sudden there you see him. Here he goes back by Todd Bodine to fifth position.
Fifth place changes hands. A Chevy and a Buick. Battling there. Now young Todd Bodine will go to school on Dale Earnhardt. And that pass Bobby Dotter. Dotter moves up and just about into Bodine.
Todd Bodine will learn an awful lot following Dale Earnhardt. He'll learn a lot running in front of Dale Earnhardt, and he'll learn a lot following Dale Earnhardt.
Caution is out. Spin in the back straightaway. Ed Ferree going around. Two other cars involved. Ferree is the orange and white machine. The 75 Ward Burton is the blue car.
This will allow Morgan Shepherd to get back on the lead lap, so we'll have another contender in this race. Looks like Butch Miller. Looks like the 52 car of Butch Miller on the inside.
Let's have another look at it. 3 cars involved. This debacle off turn 2.
Looks like the 75, the blue car, 75 car, Ward Burton gets sideways first. And the other car, there's Butch Miller into the outside wall. That was Morgan Shepherd, I believe, wasn't it? Just getting by to get his lap back. And Butch Miller had nowhere to go. Hits the inside wall pretty hard.
And here comes Ed Ferree, and he's got to swerve to miss Ward Burton. And spins in the process. Couldn't gather it back in. Boy, Shepherd dodged the bullet.
He was very lucky, but he did get into the wall, so he may have some damage to that car. He got back in the lead lap, but the car may be damaged, so we'll have to see.
Under caution, 6th time today. 175 laps complete. Shepherd's getting a black flag from NASCAR, we're told. Here's Steve.
All right, guys, I'm with Bobby Labonte's dad, Bob Sr. You got to be one proud papa right now.
I didn't hear you.
You got to be a proud father right now, the way that boy's running.
Oh, yeah. Well, I knew he could do it all the time.
He may win the race. He should have won last year, as everyone thought he would.
Well, you know, we didn't really need this flag, right? We didn't really need this flag right here, and they run a little bit better on the restarts than we do. We run better when our tires get hot, so it's, you know, one of them deals.
Okay, best of luck to you, Mike.
2 rounds of wedge in the Dale Earnhardt car. And fuel and perhaps a bit of an adjustment on Todd Bodine. They'll go back out just the way they were running. Those were the last 2 cars on the lead lap, so they give up nothing by making this stop under caution.
I'll tell you, it's really a good move. If they can make a bit of a chassis adjustment, you know, put a little fuel in just to make sure they have enough to go the distance, they may be a little bit better shape than they were prior to the caution flag, and they may have something for the top 4 cars.
Morgan Shepherd is on pit road as the ambulance has been called out to Butch Miller's car. And they're looking under the left side of Shepherd's machine. Conference with the officials, and they send Morgan back out. Ward Burton also in the pits. And we'll update you on Butch Miller just as soon as we can. But the car will go off on the hook. Miller, again, one of the 7 cars that were on Hoosiers today, led by Elton Sawyer. in the qualifying. 20 laps to go. Here's Glenn.
Okay, we were on the backstretch with Bob Labonte before Steve did the interview with him, and they were looking at me kind of like I was from the enemy camp because my brother Dale was running second and kind of closing on him. Then he widened the gap a little bit, stretched the lead out a little bit, and they treated me a lot more friendly. I asked Bob Labonte if they felt that everything was okay. He said everything's A-okay right now. Times, were very, very consistent, and they felt like that everything was going the way they wanted it to. Again, they didn't want to see this caution flag, but they feel like they've got the car to win the race right now.
Well, we'll change your name to Ayrton Senna or something, and then nobody will speak to you. We're under caution. 20, make it 19 laps to go this time by. At the North Carolina Motor Speedway, Morgan Shepherd is in for a look again under the left side of that car. Work continues on Ward Burton's machine. Bobby Labonte, the leader. Dale Jarrett in second. And Harry Gant will stay on the racetrack, but we're told on the in-car radio that Gant may have dropped a cylinder, and when you only have 6 to start with, that can be devastating to your chances. The last 20 laps when we come back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway as TNN live coverage continues. To go, and we'll be back under the green flag in 1 lap. Let's reset the field for you. Bobby Labonte in the 44, Dale Jarrett, Kenny Wallace, and that's 2 Busch Grand National regulars among the top 3. Then Harry Gant and Dale Earnhardt. Great day for Todd Bodine in the 6th spot. Morgan Shepherd in 7th is on the lead lap. Then Robert Presley, Jeff Burton, and Ed Barrier, and Barrier's been showing up 2 laps back. But he is now up just 1 lap down. He got 1 back as well. So we're getting set to go back under green. Jeff Burton is the 99, and he will try to get his lap back from Bobby Labonte when they drop the flag. Pace car is long gone. It's already on pit road. As Labonte and Jarrett in the 32. Kenny Wallace in that black green numeral number 36. And Harry Gant will try to run this one to conclusion. Dale Earnhardt is there and Todd Bodine. On the inside to the right of your screen are the cars on the lead lap. As we talk about, anything can happen in this business, so we'll see if Harry Gant or Dale Jarrett has cooled his tires enough to make a run at Bobby Labonte. Here comes Earnhardt way on the outside. Earnhardt trying to go around the lap cars on the right side of your screen. He's got Harry Gant. And Todd Bodine jumped up into 3rd spot. Earnhardt wants to try him on the inside and wisely gets out. That's Todd Bodine in a white car in 4th position. Kenny Wallace in the black car just ahead of him in 3rd. Cars for 3rd place on back. That was Jeff Bodine up in the spotter's position calling the restart to his younger brother. Now Earnhardt in the 3 car ahead of Harry Gant. But a ways to go to chase down Bodine. Sawyer well up high and Earnhardt moves fast. Caution is out. Shepherd rolls to pit road. There's debris in turn 2. Something off one of the race cars up on the racetrack as Shepherd goes to the garage. They run back to the flag. And Kenny Wallace will hold on to that 3rd spot as they take the caution flag. The reason Shepherd has coasted in is the piece of debris up in turn 2 was his drive shaft. Here's Brock Yates.
Well, Mike, I'm down here in Dale Earnhardt's crew, and as I said earlier, there are some Winston Cup guys here. Hank Jones is one of the brain trusts that have been working with the Grand National crew, and he tells me that they took some fight out of the race car the last stop. They thought possibly they had a bad set of tires during that last round, and so he thinks that they're all ready to go. In fact, I think you may see Dale make a real charge right near the end of the go here. So let's watch Dale Earnhardt. In the meantime, let's go to Dale Jarrett.
Okay, we've got Morgan Shepherd, who has just rolled to a stop here. Morgan, it has to be awfully disappointing. You worked real hard all day, finally got back in that lead lap. What happened?
Well, first of all, we got a lap down and we made it back up, and I was run behind the 75 car, and he spun in front of me, and then I believe Butch Miller, I was okay, but Butch Miller ran in the back of me and hit me real hard and knocked me into the wall, and undoubtedly it bent my drive shaft because it started vibrating after that and it came out.
Awfully tough break. You were a little under the weather here earlier in the week during qualifying. How are you feeling for tomorrow's race now?
What do you mean I was a little under the weather? I'm still under the weather. I'm still not feeling real good, but I think I'll be okay. And it's just a shame that the Texas Pete car had to fall out so soon, and wasn't for our sponsors, Southern Virginia Ford dealers and all them. This wouldn't be possible.
Disappointing day for Morgan Shepherd, and Rockingham is certainly not a place that you want to be feeling anyone ill at all.
Well, this is yet another caution that Bobby Labonte and his dad Bob did not need. You'd like to keep that advantage the boy is earning.
I didn't hear what you said.
Let's go back up to Mike Joy. Harry Gant is coming in. Mike?
Harry Gant's on his way on to pit road. Morgan Shepherd had the flu last week at Richmond, and it still isn't over it. A lot of us aren't. We're going to go under the hood on Gant's car and see if hopefully that missing cylinder is just a spark plug wire that's fallen off, or they take the rocker cover off. I think this will be a quick repair. Now, Gant is now the last car on the lead lap, so he has nothing to lose here. Here's Glenn.
Okay, Chris Carrier has made some adjustments under the hood. When he gets through there, we'll find out if indeed they were able to solve that problem that has slowed Harry Gant in the last few laps. The car certainly sounds like it's hitting on all six when it pulls away here, so hopefully he has got the problem corrected. We'll get a word with Chris Carrier. Chris, were you able to solve the problem?
No, I really, we're just kind of speculating right now. He said it's just getting weaker and weaker. Could be a battery or something like that. Could be a valve spring. We're a little tight off the corner, too. We took some wedge out. I don't know. We're just trying to salvage the best way we can. Looks like we're going to have to wait for another day.
Behind the 23.
Okay, Chris Carrier giving a report there. They're really not sure what the problem is with Harry Gant.
Well, one problem is neither he nor anybody else could catch Bobby Labonte. We're set to go back under green to run the final 12 laps of the Goodwrench 200. Labonte on the inside in red. Takes the green flag, and this time Dale Jarrett is right with him. Kenny Wallace in third settles in behind the lap car of Jeff Burton. Then Todd Bodine and Earnhardt. Gant now down on the apron, so that car not running well. He'll try to run the final lap. Todd Bodine, the white car now underneath the 99. 10 laps to go this time by. Starter showing 10 to go. To Bobby Labonte, chasing his first Busch Grand National win. And Todd Bodine uplaying just a little bit of sheet metal on the Jeff Burton car as he and Earnhardt move past the 99. What a great day this is for young Todd Bodine's career, as last week was for Kenny Wallace. And up front, things have changed. Dale Jarrett used these caution flags to his advantage, cooled his tires off. The green flag came back out. He jumped underneath Bobby Labonte, beat him through turns 1 and 2, and got the lead. Dale Jarrett has finished 9th and 7th in the two races here last year. His best finished 3rd in 88. Here's his brother. Glenn?
Well, it's all smiles down here right now, Mike Joy. We've got John Irvin, the crew chief. John, do you feel like that extended caution period maybe cooled the tires and enabled him to move by Bobby?
I think so, Glenn, but it's not over yet. Little Labonte's pretty tough, and I'll let you know in about 5 or 6 laps.
Okay, they're all going to wait and see. Nobody wants to count a victory here yet.
He's opened up that advantage to 2 car lengths. Dale Jarrett has in 32. Bobby Labonte right with him. Then in 3rd, Kenny Wallace. In 4th, Todd Bodine, and in 5th, Dale Earnhardt. Those cars are on the lead lap. Labonte closing, cuts into within a car length now. The time for him is running out. He may be saving up, Mike, for one last try. It looks like he wants to get underneath him coming off turn 4. I think it looks like he feels like that's his best chance to try to beat him through 3 and 4, get underneath him, and beat him down the front straightaway into turn 1. 6 laps to go. And it's for the win. Jarrett there bobbling just a little bit. And Labonte was there. He looks to the inside, but Jarrett has the horsepower. Dale has his chance to give it back to his crew for the mistake he made last year. He looks pretty good right now, but say he's got his hands full with Bobby Labonte. That's John Irvin, Jarrett's crew chief, looking rather stoic, standing Junior Johnson-like at the wall. You see the black car, Kenny Wallace, is kind of stalking back in 3rd. If those guys make any mistakes, he's in a position where he can capitalize. gets a ways back to fourth place. And Todd Bodine, then Dale Earnhardt. 5 to go. And Bobby Labonte and Dale Jarrett will settle this one. Don't count out Kenny Wallace. He's had a great run both of the last 2 weeks. Right there in the middle of the corner. Labonte is stronger and he loses it. Labonte is around, lands the wall, drops the wheel, and sinks it. Crossing it down. Well, I'll tell you, Mike, it was obvious that Bobby Labonte was giving it all he had. There's only 3 laps to go as Dale Jarrett takes the caution flag, so this thing may finish under the caution. Greg Semeno there in the Labonte pit, or rather in the Jarrett pit, the Pontiac prep. And Bobby Labonte, who came so close to winning it all here. His dad on the radio, trying to talk his son home. Right between turns 1 and 2. Labonte was clearly stronger than Jarrett. Let's watch them once again. It looks like he just dropped the left front tire on the apron to try to get underneath Dale and just pulled the front of the car right around, and the back end went out towards the wall, and around he went. He didn't hit the wall very hard, but it looks like when he came by our position that his right rear tire may be flat, so he really doesn't want to restart, I don't think, especially if he has a flat tire. Here's another look at it. Labonte right at that point was stronger than Jarrett, but the car just starts to get loose, and once it goes, it's gone. He put on a heck of a show, though, and he didn't hit the wall very hard, so he doesn't have a whole lot of damage. But he'll learn a lot from this race, and he'll get him a win before this year's over. Greg Fielden, our historian, reminds us last year when Jarrett spun from the lead with 4 laps to go, and this year Labonte loses his chance to win with 4 laps to go. Glenn?
John Irvin, you got to feel a little retribution. You lost one like this last year. Looks like you're going to get it back.
I hope so, Glenn, but it's not over till the fat lady sings, man.
Well, I think the fat lady's just about ready to sing. We're only going to have a couple of laps left under green.
She's warming up, Glenn, but she hasn't hit the pitch pipe yet. We're going to get 1 lap to race. The white and green flag will come out together. 32 is Jarrett, 36 is Kenny Wallace. Then the 34 of Todd Bodine, and don't forget about that other black car, Earnhardt. Rock Yates.
Mike, I'm with Bob Labonte. He is obviously disappointed. He did such a good job and then just made a little bit of a mistake. Race car's out of him, not badly damaged, but of course victory's gone.
Well, you know, that's the result of the new pit crew rule here. We're racing out there on worn out tires.
Okay, we got to restart, Bob. We're sorry you're out. Back to you, Mike.
Third place changes hands. Earnhardt gets past the 34 car of Todd Bodine to bring them home. Victory, jubilation, and retribution. Here is Dale Jarrett winning the Goodwrench 200 by 1/4 of a second over Kenny Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Todd Bodine, and Harry Gant. It was a heck of a show, and as we talked with 40 laps to go, everyone gave the race to Bobby Labonte and said, hey, that's the nice thing about this Ford is anything can happen. You saw 3 or 4 late caution flags. It let Dale Jarrett cool his tires and make a run at Bobby Labonte. Bobby, in trying to get back by him, lost the car coming off turn 2. And Dale Jarrett gets his win back when he let go last year. 8 caution flags slow the average speed to 110.77 miles per hour. Not a record. We'll be back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway to meet the winner after this.
Chiseled off a piece of the old rock as he has won the Goodwrench 200, trying to get the helmet off. As Mike Joy said earlier, it was not in record time. It probably would have been had it not been for the last couple of yellow flags. And look at the grin on that young man's face. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I tell you, it's a tough race. Bobby Labonte was awfully strong there. I didn't really think that there was any way I could get him, but I got him on the restart. So it's unfortunate. I hate to see him spin out. He was trying awfully hard to get his win there, and he's a good competitor. He'll win a lot of races for us.
Could you see him in your mirror smoking and spinning?
No, not really. I was concentrating what was ahead of me. I had my hands full. This thing gotten awfully loose, and I was just trying my best to keep it on the bottom. Guys did a great job getting in and out of the pit, and the car just performed well. Butch Stevens and Billy Hess built this car. It's kind of a new configuration on the front, this front steer with strut rods. Something new the first time we've run it, so it's a good start for it.
I'll say it was. And your brother's working on our crew, and he says congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. He hadn't been around many of the times that I've won, but I appreciate it.
Okay, the man from North Carolina. Come on out here, Dale. There's a lot of people that want to congratulate you. And the money won here today is going to stay in North Carolina, Hickory to be exact, as Dale Jarrett and his Pontiac have pulled it off here at the Rock. Okay. As he said, this is a different configuration car, something they had never tried before, and usually in this kind of racing, they don't work the first time out. It certainly did here today. Let's go to Brock Yates.
Okay, Steve, I'm with Bobby Labonte. Obviously disappointed. A great race, Bobby. You're right up until the end, and then all of a sudden a little bobble takes you out.
Well, you know, that little bobble was my fault. You know, I was trying to pass the 32 car there, and he was running a smooth line just like I was. And I just got up underneath him and got my left side tires off on the flat and kept digging. I guess nobody said I wasn't worth nothing. You know, I could be exciting, and I guess I was, but in the wrong sense. You know, that's just the way it goes. You know, this Penrose Oldsmobile run good all day. We're just glad for the team because they stuck with us all day and we were there, but just missed it a little bit at the end. But oh well.
Well, what did Dad say? Well, he was pretty disappointed, but he was real proud of you all the way.
Yeah, he was. You know, I have to take my hat off to him because he's a tough man, and told me not to worry about it. We'll get him again. So I believe in him, and I guess we will.
The race car, you started, out of the hunt a little bit in the middle of the pack, but moved right up, and you had to feel good about the race car in the early stage.
Yeah, I did. You know, we got a couple of breaks on the restarts. That helped out, but the car was good. I knew it was good yesterday afternoon. Just didn't want to get too excited about it, but I knew after about 50 laps that we were going to be all right. Just racing.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Someday you eat the bear, other days the bear eats you.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we'll get him next time.
Okay, Bobby Labonte, who's got a great future in this sport. Now let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Standing by with one of the hardest chargers and best competitors in this sport, Harry Gant. Harry, you had a good run early on, but the car kind of went away from you in the end. What happened there?
Yeah, the Scobandy Buick, it just ran super. You know, we was conserving the tires, had a lot of power, and just sitting out there, just cooling it. And but then out there towards the last, on the restart there, I guess I broke a valve spring or whooped a valve or something, and I lost like, about 1,000 RPM. And after that, I was just history then, just hanging on.
Well, you hung on and finished in the top 5. That's got to be pretty gratifying considering the way things wound up there.
Yeah, we're real pleased with the performance and everything. Just whatever went wrong there. I could have overwhelmed it when I restarted that time, right after the 44. There at the end, how they didn't go by, I figured, well, I can step back here and save these tires a little bit, and then all of a sudden, it went bam, it wouldn't run. So we had a restart, and I was trying to I think I might have broke a valve in.
Well, I tell you what, it takes a real man to admit that he might have been the one that did that. So better luck tomorrow, Harry.
Harry Gant, as we have a look at the point standings. 6th career Busch Grand National victory, as we look at the rundown, for Dale Jarrett. He had 2 wins last season, and he picks up his 6th career win here today. Kenny Wallace, finishing 2nd, will move up in the Busch Series points to 3rd. Dale Earnhardt will hang on to the point lead with his 3rd place finish. Todd Bodine, career best, 4th today. Great run for young Todd. Harry Gant finishes up in 5th. Those cars on the lead lap. A little further back, Bobby Labonte credited with 6th. Ed Barrier gets 7th. Jeff Burton is 8th. Robert Presley is 9th. And outside pole sitter Jimmy Hensley comes home 10th. Tom Peck, then Tommy Houston, David Green, Joe Nemechek, and Tracy Leslie. Tommy Ellis, along with Cecil Eunice, Bobby Dotter, Rich Burgess, and Ed Ferree, round out the top 20. And I'm corrected, it's the 2nd best career finish for Todd Bodine. He had a 3rd at Dover last season, backs it up with a fine. A 4th place here today with that Clyde McLeod-led crew. Great Busch Grand National race here today, Sunday, live on TNN. The Winston Cuppers in TNN's inaugural presentation of NASCAR Winston Cup Racing Live, the Goodwrench 500. Airtime will be 12 noon on Sunday. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
Now we have current Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt. Dale, one of those days where you just pedaled hard, just couldn't quite get back to the front.
Well, the car got a little loose there on that first run. We changed tires and got tight, so it went right the opposite. We had adjusted for the loose, and then it was too tight that last run. So we just worked with it. We got took some wedge out on that one caution. It really didn't help it. We were just dodging and racing on best we could do.
Well, there you have it from Dale Earnhardt. Do you think that the things you learned today are going to help you tomorrow, considering this excessive tire wear?
Well, yeah, I think so, but you can't really figure these radials out. The track wears, and one set, you might be a little tight because of the track and the rubber, and then the next set you might be a little loose. So we're going to give it all we got, and congratulations to Jarrett. He beat himself last year in this race, and I beat him, and it's about his turn to win down here. And, Kenny Wallace and Todd Bodine, them guys did good, too.
Okay, that's the word from Dale Earnhardt.
The Miller pit crew of the race, we've kind of voted around, and two votes up here in the booth go to Clyde McLeod and that Todd Bodine-led crew, so he'll get the Miller pit crew of the race award.
plaque presentation for today from the folks at Miller Beer. Our thanks to Brock Yates, Steve Evans, and Glenn Jarrett, who cover the action down on the pits today. For my broadcast colleague Phil Parsons, this is Mike Joy saying stay tuned Sunday for the Goodwrench 500. TNN Motorsport.